All right, we got an injury crash messing up 65 and northbound. It's right there at the South Loop downtown. Another one in Franklin has the left lane blocked, 65 southbound near I-840. Then over by the airport, police reporting a crash 40 eastbound at Briley Parkway East. And in Murfreesboro, still have Thompson Lane southbound blocked due to a fallen power cable over there at Northwest Broad Street. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. Welcome in. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day, 6 minutes after 3 o'clock. May I say good afternoon? I'm probably not the first to say that to you, but I hope it's the friendliest. It is Wednesday. Is that right? July 30th already. One more day in this month, and then it's August, and it's still hot outside. Yikes! We got lots to get into on this Wednesday edition, midweek edition. We thank you for being a part of it. I'll introduce the players of the show, get the particulars and the pleasantries out of the way, and we'll get this thing lumbering under its own weight. 189 days of the Trump presidency at a 1460.5. That is his second term. We'll enjoy every single moment of it. He's got a few things to say to Jerome Powell, who is the head of the Federal Reserve, who did not do Trump's bidding and raise or lower, I should say, interest rates. We shall discuss what can the president do about that. It's episode 853 of our gatherings together, and it should be a good one. When I tell you the lineup of guests, you're going to go, oh, well, that's pretty good, Murph. I mean, hell, we might have Elon Musk call us today. Jackson, what would you do? I'm not betting on it, and I've not scheduled anything. I've begged on his X Machine platform, and he's always on that X Machine. So what would you do if you got a call and it was Elon Musk on the other end of the line? What would you say to Elon Musk?
I would probably utter a curse word, followed by
like holy poop.
Yes,
only not poop.
That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah,
yeah, that's definitely what I would do. I would say that, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
First you say it, then you do it.
Yeah,
you know that's what they tell me.
I'd be a cleanup in production room C.
Control room, but that's okay.
Control room.
Yeah, no problem. Ken Weaver, what would you do, Elon? I would love it. I think it'd be fun.
I would say, Elon, I love what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Keep it up, brother.
We got to have innovators, man. Got to have them.
Amen. He is our generation's version of what we saw, those railroad magnates, those oil magnates, steel magnates back in the day, back in the late 1800s or whatever. I mean, that's what he's doing for us. He is Henry Ford. He is Edison. He is he is our version of that. I mean, hell, Steve Jobs came a little before him, but now he is advancing the technologies that were presented by people like Jobs and Gates before he went crazy and wanted to vaccinate everybody. So we got the reason that we're begging Elon to come on the show is that we got Governor Bill Lee coming on. Hey,
yes, sir.
Governor Bill
yes,
Lee.
Sir.
What about that? He's going to stop by the studio.
All right.
Which is nice. We've adjusted the time. I told you, Jackson, that there would be plenty of opportunities to adjust the time. So we're thinking right after the 5:30 newscast, right in the midst of Nincompoops. We will not do Nincompoops, obviously. We'll make way for the governor. He should be here around 5:35-ish.
Is Nincompoops canceled or delayed?
Well, we're figuring it out. We're going to figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm hoping that it's just delayed until 6. But then I want to keep the governor around as long as he wants to stay. I don't want to.
What if he wants to do Nincompoops?
Maybe he wants to do a little Nincompoops in the news with us.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I mean, maybe he'll say, yeah, Representative Justin Jones, here's my Nincompoop in the news. Here's what I need to do, though. Y'all see the ruckus that Justin caused out there at the B&A airport?
Yeah.
Said that he wanted to go in on the thing, and he could have been invited if he'd have made a call, but he didn't make a call, and I should invite Justin Jones to come and watch our interview with Governor Lee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell him you can sit in the corner and watch. You cannot participate or ask any questions, but you can watch.
Yeah.
And I mean, that'd be nice of us, right?
Plenty of room back here with me.
Our doors are always open.
Who knows? He might pull an Alex Padilla. I just want to ask a question.
I feel like that will end. That would end the same way that the Alex
Jose
Padilla.
Padilla, I think it was.
No, out there in California?
Yeah.
I think it's Alex.
Yeah, it is Alex.
It is Alex. Jose Padilla, I think, is a baseball player.
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't do that. He'd just swing the bat.
Yeah, I think that would probably end, considering I've seen the security around the governor.
Yeah.
I think that'd probably end the same way.
It right about like that.
By the way, speaking of swinging baseball bats and whatever, are y'all watching on Talk TV right now? I hope you are. You can find us on a variety of platforms, 99.7 FM on the radio dial.
Oh, wait, what happened?
But if you're around a television, go over to Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Not only am I wearing long pants in anticipation of the governor, first time today, but have you seen the TV behind me?
I just noticed it. What happened?
Well, that's what I want to find out.
Oh, I know.
Ken Weaver says he knows.
I do know. I know who did it.
Will you please do me a favor? I think that I know what show did it. Will you call Dan Mandis Jackson of Nashville's Morning News? Will you get Mandis on the horn? We need to get to the bottom of that. What are we hearing? What's the official story out of Nashville's Morning News, Ken?
Well, the official story is that it was Joan Jones.
Huh. Really?
The beautiful and talented Joan Jones is also very strong.
The delicate and petite Joan Jones.
Yes.
Now, you and I both know how heavy these doors are.
Oh, they're about 500 pounds apiece.
I mean, they're insane. These doors, our doors to our studios, are heavy enough that if people aren't accustomed to them, they push on them and they think they're locked.
Right.
They think they won't open. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that I don't believe this official story from Nashville's Morning.
Well, she explained it to me.
Uh-huh.
She says she thought that there was a stop.
Uh-huh.
But there's not.
Uh-huh. Well, if the official story holds, then it cost me $10. And I'm going to explain that in a moment. Is Mandis on the phone? I like saying that as if like I'm in charge or something. Is Mandis on the phone? Get Mandis on the phone. I feel like Bill O'Reilly. We'll do it live. Hey, Dan, how are you?
Hey, man. I'm good. How are you? And Matt, I don't know how to tell you this, but there was a doorstop, but it was the TV.
Brother Dan Mandis.
Thank you, Dan. That's the best joke. That's better than any joke I've ever heard you tell on Nashville's Morning News. That's good. Dan, I don't believe. So here's what people don't know. And I thought I'd get Dan on the line to defend himself because people don't know Dan has this persona on the radio. But behind the scenes, he's an absolute monster. He's a tyrant. And everybody knows it. And I think that Dan had a fit. And he broke the TV, and now he's making Joan take the blame. That's what I feel like happened, Dan.
Is that what it is?
I do.
Well,
I do.
actually, well, you're wrong. Although the whole thing about fits and monsters may be possibly close to being completely false. But as far as the TV goes, Joan and I, honest to goodness truth, Joan and I are talking. And I'm in the seat that you're in, and Joan is in the doorway. And we keep trying to talk, but that big, heavy door, that little rubber door stop down there on the floor, it wouldn't hold the door open. And so she and I are trying to have a conversation, and the thing just keeps swinging in on her. So little Joan, right?
Yeah.
So she takes the door, and she, I mean, there's no other way to say this. She shoves it against the wall and tries to put the little doorstop thing underneath there. And when she did so, a little bit later, we noticed, oh, look, the screen looks a little weird. And it was completely cracked. And if you really want to have fun, you take the door handle and you put it right up against the TV. I mean, it is right there. It matches up to where the shatter is. So, yeah, Joan did it, and she completely, admits that she did it. And the general manager, everybody, they're being really cool about it, and they're only going to knock Joan's paycheck over the next 12 weeks. $50, $75, $100 a pop. So there you go.
All right, there are a couple of things to unpack here, Dan. One, do y'all feel like Dan's like saying Joan did it, Joan admitted it a little too much? Like Joan did it, Joan admitted it, Joan took the blame for it. Okay, that's one thing. Number two, I don't get to see our illustrious leader every day. I know you probably don't see her every day, but on occasion
No.
you see the wonderful Allison roaming the downstairs hallways, and she's always pleasant. She always says hello. She always has a nice thing to say, and then she says something nasty about you, but whatever. So, but you know what she said to me today? I saw her today. You know the first thing that she said to me?
What's that?
This is why you can't have nice things. That's what she said to me.
Nice.
That's what she said to me.
Well,
And I'm like, listen, this is the morning show. I don't know. So the report was that you busted up the coffee pot earlier in the break room. Is that,
Oh, my
is that
Lord.
true or false?
well, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, there's some context.
There's a man that talks to
context
There's a man that
involved.
talks to politicians every
Yes,
Well,
sir.
it all depends on
Yes, sir.
The coffee pot, I believe, had a little hole in it, and then when I made the pot of coffee, it shattered, and coffee was all over the kitchen.
Huh. But it
But
had
somebody
nothing to do with you.
No, somebody left the coffee pot in there with a little hole in it, and the thing shattered. That wasn't my fault. And you know what? I grabbed the mop and I cleaned it up.
Yeah, Brother Dan went into the mop closet.
Oh, around the
I
corner?
did. I
Got
went
the
into the-
mop out.
Oh, wow. I mean, that must
I
have been
even
a
had
mess.
I even had the slippery when wet sign out.
Did you now?
I did.
See, I don't know what y'all are doing in the mornings, but it's weird. It's weird around here. Y'all are having a party in the mornings on Nashville's Morning News.
Well, listen, when Joan is there, rock stars, they like to break the TVs. Well, it's same with news stars.
Yeah.
9336 says,
Next thing you know, that she's gonna throw the TV off the balcony.
"Oh, I love it. I love just
Yeah, like
trash
Guns
the
N'
entire
Roses.
trash the entire joint. We'll get better stuff, surely, right? If we trash everything up here."
Absolutely.
Dan's either a politician or a lawyer. No, he's a talk show host. We're even better. No accountability.
Well,
whatsoever.
when Joan did it, and when she admitted that Joan did it, when she admitted she did it, then she also apologized. So Joan felt really bad when she broke the TV.
which you had nothing to do with.
Dude, I was on the other side of the room.
Brother Dan Manders.
You can ask Sam.
Well,
Sam, my producer, he saw the whole thing.
producer Sam will have your back in this.
Absolutely.
Man, if producer Sam knows what's good for him, he will go with whatever Joan tells him to do,
Yes, sir.
and not Dan Mandis.
Wow. Well, you know what? Joan's a lot meaner than me. Look what she did to the TV.
Well, the reason that I just want to make clear, and the reason we called you today, is I lost a $10 bet because of you.
Okay.
Would you like to know what the bet was?
Sure.
When Chris Webber was still here and producing the afternoon show, before he left to go back home to Columbus, which people still ask us all the time what happened to Brother Webber. He went back home to be with his family in Columbus. And when we got the new, when we got the dressing up of the studio and we got the monitor behind our cameras here, Weber noticed, he opened the door at the end of the show one day, and he noticed, he said, look where they put this monitor. And he noticed that the door handle would hit it if the door went all the way open. And
Yep.
Chris Webber said to me, hey, who do you think will be the first one to bust this TV? And I said, I got $10. It's Mandis.
Wow.
So,
I'm
Chris,
a lovable little fuzzball. Why would I do something like
well,
that?
because we all know it. Look, that's a persona, and I'm not here to break any illusions that the Nashville's Morning News listening audience has. But I'm telling you, Dan comes off as a fuzzball, but whoo. Behind the scenes, he's throwing slippery elm and he's throwing coffee pots. Crazy.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey,
Sure.
somebody asked me to
I
ask-
get testy when I need a nap.
Somebody asked me to ask you about your Harry D. Should I do that?
No, you probably should not, as
Oh.
a matter of fact.
Well,
That is definitely one of those stories that you had to be there, man. I said something this morning that was just, yep, it was.
I will.
something.
I will contact our fine advertiser, Advanced Hair, and I will schedule you an appointment.
You go right on ahead.
If we need to, wherever we need to add hair to, Dan, we'll be happy to help.
Sure, I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun. By the way, is there an indication as to when we'll have the opportunity to have Joan break the next TV?
There's actually a TV on order, according to the corner office. So already on order.
Okay, very good.
Already
Okay,
on
now,
order. And apparently
wanna-
it's something having to do with your talent check not going to be the same thing or something. I don't know what that means.
Sure. By the way, do we want to place bets on who's going to break the next TV?
I'm going to go ahead and say Dan Mandis of Nashville's Morning News. Maybe Jackson.
Wow, is that what you're going to throw down?
Maybe
Okay.
Jackson.
What do you-
Jackson's kind of oafish.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Okay.
fair. That's fair, Jackson.
I think it's fair
That's
because
fair.
I do push that door and I did not know it lined up with the handle.
Oh,
So,
it does.
yeah, honestly,
Man,
I will be more careful now.
Dan breaking the television actually helped you dodge a bullet, Jackson. You should thank Dan for breaking the TV for you.
Appreciate
Sure,
it.
that's actually Joan, but that's okay. not a problem. Not a problem. All right, Weaves, what do you say? I think it's going to be Murphy Show.
No,
That's what I think. I think it's going to be Murphy Show.
No, not me.
I don't know if it's going to be Murphy's show. Well, we're getting into football season.
Oh, that's true. Might be Weaver.
So it might be me.
Oklahoma
You know
loses
what?
a close game.
Listen, I hear the Bulldogs are going to suck this year, and that's the Murphy's team.
So
He
Mandis
might
chose.
get mad and
Mandis
open up
chose
that door. Well, so hard.
Mandis chose violence. Did y'all hear
If-
that? Mandis, we were being friendly. We had agreed that Joan is the scapegoat for the television situation that Dan caused. We had all agreed on that.
Yeah.
And then he chose
Yeah.
violence with the Bulldog talk. See what he did there?
Listen,
When-
I've heard they're going to have a bad year. I don't know what else to tell you.
When Tennessee beats Georgia this year, that TV's getting broken.
Here's the
I'm
thing.
telling you. Thank you, Jackson.
Here's what I would suggest. I would
I like
suggest
Jackson.
that our engineers are smart enough that they will not reposition the TV in the same place that they did this because they understand what idiots we are in this studio and that it's just going to get broken again. That's what I would hope to believe.
They've got to Joan-proof the studio.
I love how Mandis is hanging on the idea that Joan actually
Joan broke it.
nobody yeah, Joan broke it. Yeah, we got it.
Joan broke it. I'm just telling you.
She says she did.
Well, I mean, if you've seen Mandis lay down the law, I will have your job. I bet he's like screaming at her, I will have your job. I will take your home. I will ruin you, Jones. I can just see him
I
saying
just
that.
said, listen, if you like your job, you'll take the blame. They're not going to fire you, Joan. You're a woman.
Oh, Dan, I think
I told her.
we've dug the hole to the proper depth.
Oh,
So with that in mind, I'm going to try to take my break on time. Thank you for answering the phone in your nap. I appreciate that.
All right, man. See you later.
see you, brother Dan Mandis.
There's Dan Mandis of Nashville's Morning News. Man, he's funny in the afternoons.
I told brother Dan Mandis a long time ago, don't ever change.
Oh, I love him.
Don't ever
Absolutely.
change.
I love Mandis. How
Now
many how many times in one conversation you say, Joan did it? He just wants to make sure everybody understands.
You should have brought up the pepperoni incident
Was there a pepperoni incident?
at the WTN thing when you said,
Oh yeah, when she ate it, man, he gave her a look. I'm telling y'all, he gave her a look. She popped over and he had a pepperoni pizza in front of him at King's Bowl. And Joan, Joan being Joan, doing Joan things, just kind of popped one of those. You know how you do?
Yeah, you just
pull a pepperoni off the pizza and popped it in her mouth. And Mandis gave her the stare of death. I mean, Mandis like,
It's as if she had hugged him.
it's as if she would have hugged him.
thanks for saying mouth this time, Murphy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
24 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's hot. I mean, I don't need to tell you it's hot outside, and I'm not going to tell you how you feel about it, okay? I'm just going to tell you that the temperatures are in the mid-90s, and that means your AC is working hard, working really hard. And now's the time that it'll go out. And people think to themselves, whoa, why does it go out at the worst possible time? Because it's running so hard. It can be hard to find someone that you trust to get to your home jiffy quick to fix that AC, just to repair what ails it. It could be something simple. It could be terminal. We don't know yet. But Jeff Eddy in Efficient Heating and Cooling, he can figure it out. He will send a qualified tech out, or sometimes Jeff will come out himself. Jeff Eddy in Efficient Heating and Cooling will offer you the opportunity to get through the season. Perhaps he can fix it, repair that thing, and get you through another hot summertime in August and September. Or maybe it's time. If he tells you it's time, he knows that's bad news, but he's going to make it as easy as possible. They're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can find the right unit for you. They have financing options available for you. Efficient Heating and Cooling. Simply the best in the business. Go to efficienthvac.net, efficienthvac.net, or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for Efficient.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And here we are, a second consecutive day. Middle Tennessee under an extreme heat warning. National Weather Service says that heat index is 103 degrees right now with the actual temperature 97. And fire crews are responding to a gas leak downtown. It prompted the evacuation of a part of a block near 1200 Broadway. This is going to be over by the Whole Foods, just to the north of the South Loop downtown. No immediate danger, but the area was cleared out of an abundance of caution as crews work to fix that leak, and they ask that you find an alternate route to avoid delays. Full forecast in 5 minutes. Traffic, too. The Federal Reserve voting to keep the benchmark interest rate steady in a range of 4.25%, 4.50% at its latest meeting today. Before the Fed made their rate announcement, President Trump was asked a question about how the Fed should respond if they decided to cut rates and inflation went up.
Well, if that happens, then we just raise them. What you do is you lower them, and let's see if there's inflation. Right now, there's no inflation. Everybody thought there would be.
Now, right now, the inflation rate just shy of 3%. And the nation's economy grew at a faster rate than expected for the second quarter. According to the Commerce Department, GDP rose 3% from April to June. Economists say that number only tells a portion of the story. ABC's Alexis Christoforous says businesses are playing it safe and not making any major investment decisions to curb any additional costs brought on by President Trump's tariff policies.
Business investment actually contracted last quarter, and that could be because a lot of businesses are saying, look, we can't really make a plan for the future because of all the economic uncertainty, and some economists are saying that weakness is something to look out for.
Got a drink recall. High Noon has initiated a voluntary recall of its vodka seltzer due to a labeling error. Some cans in the High Noon Beach variety pack were mistakenly filled with High Noon vodka seltzer, but labeled as Celsius Astro Vibe, a sparkling blue Raz energy drink, which is non-alcoholic. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, over here on the South Loop downtown, we've got a crash blocking the right lane. It's actually not the South Loop, but it's 65 northbound at the South Loop downtown. In Franklin, a crash still blocking the left lane, 65 southbound near I-840. Police still reporting a crash 40 eastbound over by the airport, right there near Briley Parkway. And then the left two lanes now blocked, 65 southbound near Trinity Lane. That's just north of the North Loop. And in Murfreesboro, still have Thompson Lane southbound blocked due to fallen power lines there at Northwest Broad Street. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for our friends at Grace Point Healthcare. By now, you know that Grace Point is affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine, and I certainly hope that you have already gone to Grace Point at one time or another. I hope that you've enrolled in their Smart Care plan. They're a direct pay primary care physician in Franklin, Tennessee. You can call them at 599-6868. Odds are they can get you in tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. If you're sick now, you don't need to wait 2 or 3 weeks to get relief. You need help now, and they still do that at Grace Point Healthcare. It's one of the reasons that we say that their modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. But here's a great thing now. You've heard us promote the Smart Care plan, $69 a month, as low as $69 a month. You can be in on the Smart Care plan, free office visits, free basic labs. Well, now the Big Beautiful Bill, which is the Big Beautiful Law, offers you and your Big Beautiful family big beautiful savings. Use your HSA, your health savings account, to pay for your Smart Care plan, up to $150 a month for individuals and $300 a month for families. That's right. That's pretty cool, huh? Give them a call at 599-6868 and ask them more. Go by and see them in Franklin. It's the way to go, friends. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Advanced Hair. Listeners will ask, what makes Advanced Hair Restoration different? Allow me to share some of the details on their once-a-year summer savings event, because this is one of the things that helps Advanced Hair stand out. Advanced Hair stands by their results. Their before and afters are second to none, and with Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, and they create what they call a concierge quality experience. It's hard to find anywhere else. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advance FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. Quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule for the summer and you've been waiting for an opportunity to save some money, here it is. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's the best offer ever. Call for details or to schedule your free consultation. 629-348-HAIR. That's 629-348-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Call at 629-348-HAIR or go online to advancedhair.com. You know, most people are in agreement with me that Dan Mandis, the monster, the tyrant that he is on Nashville's Morning News, has forced Joan Jones into a situation where she has to take the blame for what occurred this morning. I think we all see through it. I think we all understand what. And I know several of you have asked. You all-day listeners, we love you. You all-dayers, thank you for being a part of Nashville's Morning News. Chris Hand, Chad Benson, Matt Murphy. We love you, and we appreciate you. Live and local, all day long, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Some of you are saying, Murphy, call Joan and get to the bottom of it. Now, I'm not going to put poor Joan. She is already in a bad enough spot because she has to take the blame. It's another example of a woman taking the fall for a man's failures. She has to take the blame here, and you know what? I'm just going to leave that up to Nashville's Morning News to figure out. So we're not. I'm not going to cause a further rift in Nashville's Morning News that has already been caused. I mean, first it's coffee pots, now it's televisions. What will this monster Mandis do next?
You got to look out for that brother Dan Mandis.
Oh, he's wily. He's wily. Ken, W-I-L-Y, wily.
Yes,
like
sir.
the coyote.
Yes, sir.
If you. Oh, 5811 says, if y'all need a timestamp to find Dan's major D gaff, it's around 6:50 in the morning. No, we don't. We know. We know.
Oh, my God.
I don't.
You don't know. Dan, you know, we have a great new sponsor, and Dan just has this way of promoting our new sponsors in such a fabulous manner. We have the Advanced Hair is a brand new sponsor. I'm proud to be able to talk about them. I have been blessed with a head of hair, but a lot of guys, if they're losing, if they're thinning, they need to know about a company that can treat them right, and Advanced Hair will do so. Dan, apparently my voice was on an ad this morning on Nashville's Morning News. And Dan, I forget exactly the phraseology, but apparently Dan wondered if they could possibly help, his words now, his bald head. And the suggestion was made that maybe they could grow out of hair a D on his head.
D for Dan?
They didn't say that.
Well, what would the D stand for, Matt? Let's go through the words together.
Dummy?
Let's both get fired here.
Let's not do that, boys.
Don't.
Let's make it the Ken Weaver show by 4 o'clock.
Don't stands, D starts the word don't. So anyway, there you go. Disaster. That's another word that starts with the letter D. Allison says, do WT and disasters come in threes like celebrity death? Don't get me started. There were like 5 people that died last week. Nobody's talking about it now.
That's 3.
Well, and then it starts over? Well, are we waiting on one, Ken?
I know what we do. We change it to it comes in at least 3.
Okay. All right.
How's that?
It comes in infinity. Everybody's got it going. Dunce. Trevor says dunce starts with the letter D. That is correct. All right, so we've got Tim Burchett coming up at 4 o'clock. I got an interesting email, and look, just to show you, I'm a fan of this tunnel deal. And if you have listened over the last couple of days, y'all well know that I'm a fan of this tunnel deal. I love the ingenuity. I love the futuristic nature of the concept. I love the fact that it's thinking of a problem in a different way, and it's attempting to solve the problem in a different way. Love everything about it. Well, I had an individual reach out to me earlier today via email, and you're welcome to email me, matt@murphyshow.com, or you can go over to the 99.7 WTN page. I think Matt at 997WTN.com would also get to me. But this person says, I've been in the tunnels under Vanderbilt and TSU. It's like wading in a shallow creek all the way with a little leak through the walls every several yards. I'm sure they have been successful in short runs other places, but 10 miles to B&A in water creviced limestone will be a challenge. I'm just saying. By the way, instead of inviting politicians on your show to talk about something they know nothing about, move higher up the food chain and invite people like geotechnical, mechanical, or structural engineers. And this was from Jack, a listener to the show, and apparently Jack is a structural engineer. And so Jack has been invited on the show, and Jack's going to come on with us at 4:35 to try to educate us on exactly what the structural engineering challenges would be to create a tunnel that is waterproof and that would survive the rigors of Tennessee, generally speaking, the flooding situations, the heat, the cold, and all of the rest of that. And so looking forward to that at 4:35 this afternoon. I have avoided Sydney Sweeney talk. I know Hand had a hot take this morning that Sydney Sweeney is not that hot. Whatever. I don't. You know what? I don't look at women for their physical attractiveness. I look at them as human beings. I don't know what Hand's doing over there, but you know what? I don't know if she's hot or not. I don't see that way. What about you, Jackson?
Yeah, ditto.
What I said?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just do the news, boys.
So Sydney Sweeney, look, I try not to make a matter of taste a matter of fact. That's all I'll say about that. Whether it's music or movies or what books you like or what shows you like to watch or, what flavor candy you prefer or what flavor woman you like. That is a matter of taste, not a matter of fact. And there's something for everybody on God's green earth. I can tell you that. And let me promise you, Sydney Sweeney, she's something for some folk. Maybe not for others. But I have tried my best to avoid this conversation. I think it's silly. I don't know if y'all have noticed, and I'm not begrudging how anybody does their business, but I try not to platform people that don't deserve it. And what I mean by that is, why would I talk about these morons or share these morons on a 100,000-watt radio station when they don't deserve the time of day? They're acting like morons. It is obvious what American Eagle Outfitter is it American Eagle Outfitters or just American Eagle?
Just call it American Eagle.
American Eagle. It's obvious what they were trying to do with this ad campaign. They were making a little funny thing about jeans and jeans, y'all. Ooh, she's got good jeans. Look at her. She's got good jeans. But apparently, according to the wackadoodles on the political left, that is somehow Hitler. And no, I'm not making this up. Y'all have seen the stories by now. But I'll tell you, I absolutely love this, and I wish it's probably not true, but I'm going to choose that I believe that it is. Have you seen the fake response by American Eagle?
I have not. Read it for me.
I will. I'm happy to. So the setup is Sydney Sweeney, by most accounts, a very attractive person, is advertising for American Eagle, specifically their denim line, their blue jeans. And she's like saying, they say that, jeans oftentimes will tell somebody the kid's eye color or height or hair color. I've got good jeans. And she's talking about the jeans that she's wearing, right? And there's been this huge backlash suggesting that, oh, my goodness, you're talking about genetics, and she's a white girl with blue eyes and blonde hair, and that means you're Hitler. I mean, that's where they went. Just automatically went there. So here's the probably fake response by American Eagle Outfitter, which I will choose to believe is true until proven otherwise. To whom it may concern, we sincerely apologize for featuring Sydney Sweeney in our recent advertisements. In hindsight, we underestimated the combined impact of her blue eyes, blonde hair, and general hotness. Also, we did not realize how big her boobs would be. Our marketing team has been sent to denim sensitivity training. Thank you for your feedback. Please stop emailing us. Signed, American Eagle. American Eagle. I don't believe it's true, but I wish it were, because that's the perfect response to these knuckleheads that have decided that. Do y'all have nothing else to complain about? I mean, honestly, nothing else to complain about? Is Donald Trump doing this well that you have nothing else to complain about? You have to move on to a company that's just trying to advertise their blue jeans? Is that what we're doing now? Because I feel like we've gotten everything solved if that's what we're doing now. If we're complaining about a woman talking about her good genes, making a play on words between genes as in the traits that her parents and grandparents passed down to her hereditary genes, versus her blue jeans, like the pants she's wearing. If that's all that you're and oh, by the way, every single person that I have seen on social media platforms complaining about this, they're ugly. Every single one of them. At least in my opinion. Once again, let's not make a matter of taste a matter of fact. But they got crap in their nose or they're heavy set or whatever. It's like, jealousy, thy name is liberal. Bill might have a thought on it. Hello, Bill.
Mr. Murphy.
What's going on, Bill?
I heard what you said about that little blonde girl, and I thought to myself, he's like me. He appreciates her mind, not her body.
100%. 100%.
When I see a woman like that, I think to myself, she must be very intelligent. And, the liberals don't think about that. They just think about the basic body measurements of this girl. So I just hope, that she has thought more about her brain than her brawn.
So to speak. Yes, I agree, Bill. I am certain that Sydney Sweeney is I don't know that I have ever seen anything that, is she an actress? Is that what she is, Jackson?
Yes.
Jackson, by default, I'm going to go ahead and assume, while I'm probably going to give Ken Weaver the mantle of music expert on the radio show. I think he has us beat in that regard. Got a more breadth of musical knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and make you the pop culture expert.
That's probably smart.
That's by default. By default, Jackson. Have you ever seen anything this woman? She's an actress?
Yes.
Have you seen what she has been in?
I think so.
I have.
Oh, Ken, what do you got? What's she been in?
She was in a season of White Lotus.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
And
she's in that HBO show Euphoria. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
She was in that movie with the guy from Top Gun Maverick. Not Rooster, the other one. Hangman.
Oh, what's his name?
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
That's
Okay.
a
Yeah.
rom-com.
She was in a movie with him.
Nope.
She's in White Lotus.
Boy, I'm feeling old.
That's all I've seen her in was White Lotus.
Big on
How
social
is
media.
that White Lotus? That ain't good?
It's real weird, and I like real weird things.
I do, too. I've got a movie to recommend to you, by the way.
All right.
It's called Rubber.
All right.
R-U-B-B-E-R. It's about a tire that has telekinetic powers.
Okay. I will definitely look into that.
Might want a few IPAs before you dip into Rubber, but
Okay.
or a gummy.
A gummy.
No, you could have a gummy.
What kind of gummy? Gummy worms?
Not a gummy, a gummy.
It's a gummy.
It's a gummy. Wait,
Y'all need to be more careful with the
this is before your time, Jackson. But we had
We learned that from a prominent state lawmaker.
one of our state lawmakers came on the show, and we were talking about their decision to eliminate THC content out of certain products in Tennessee.
Hemp products.
Oh,
And
so
he
the
said-
fun police?
Yeah, and he said that we got to get rid of those gummies. Said it like 28 times. Gummy, 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 gummy.
I got a weird movie for you boys to watch.
What do you got?
It's Mel Gibson in a Jodie Foster directed film called The Beaver.
The Beaver.
Yeah. He has a little puppet that's a beaver.
Okay.
Let's
he,
not get too descriptive here.
Well, I mean,
It's just a beaver.
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah. He talks to it.
Okay.
And then it talks.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I think you and I have very similar tastes in those
Oh, yes.
weird, off-kilter, because I love Nicolas Cage in, was it Pig?
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
such a great movie.
That movie made me mad.
Oh,
too,
me
boy.
too. Well, don't take the man's pig.
No.
What the hell's wrong with y'all? But, yeah, Rubber. You'd love it.
All right.
All right, so Sydney Sweeney, so you recommend White Lotus?
White Lotus, solid. Euphoria, I've never watched it, never really been that interested in it, but that's where like her big thing.
How would you rate her acting chops?
She's good in White Lotus. It's the
Yeah.
only thing I've ever seen her in.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was so good in White Lotus, I didn't like her
Okay.
because she was so good in it.
Okay. Well, I mean,
And
that's a compliment. Yeah.
very entitled.
I heard the rom-com was not bad.
All right. Well, it makes me look. I have no interest in this person. I have no interest in what she necessarily is. But when these liberals come out of the woodwork just to slam her and call her a Nazi, it makes me gravitate to her and want to support what she does because I think the liberals are so damn stupid. 53 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, somebody just said, come on, Murphy, follow the dots. Sydney Sweeney, SSSS Nazi. Come on, Murphy. Yeah, you probably are right, TB. That is, I'm not smart enough to follow those dots. I am smart enough to tell you this. When it comes to your pain, if you have physical debilitating pain and you're worried about having to live through taking pills for the rest of your life, or maybe you're worried about the shots that you have to take. Maybe you're worried about surgery that's just around the corner. Might I introduce you to Dr. Mitch, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. I made the switch to Dr. Mitch. I don't say that just because it rhymes. I say that because it's true, because they're right around the corner from my place. They're in Mount Juliet. I absolutely love these guys. Wherever you're coming from, they're going to take care of you with their state-of-the-art equipment, their spinal decompression technology, and everything else that involves getting you pain-free without having to depend on pills or needles or surgery. That's what it's all about. And right now, their Big Daddy Trump special is all about getting you through the door. They want to see you. They want to show you what is possible in terms of pain relief. $12 for a comprehensive examination, x-rays, a diagnosis, and your first treatment. You heard me correctly, $12. Make the call that so many others have made. Go online and do your research. Painisbad.com is the website, painisbad.com, or call 615-246-5009, 246-5009 for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Have you noticed how unreliable things have become these days? Like when somebody tells you this will be ready at 4 o'clock and then it's not ready at 4 o'clock, and people are tired of that kind of stuff. Friends, if you're tired of unreliable vehicle repair when it comes to your European automobile, might I recommend Eurofix? I hope you've listened to me talk about Aaron Stokes over the years. Aaron Stokes has got it going on. He turns unreliable into reliable. Eurofix has your vehicle ready when they say that it's ready, when it's really ready, so you don't have to stand around waiting. Eurofix repairs all European vehicles with quality that beats the dealer without passing along this dealer pricing to you. It's bad, folks. I mean, because you're paying for all of the overhead at the dealership when you take your car to the dealer shops. Not so with Aaron Stokes and Eurofix. 3-year nationwide warranty plus a free loaner car with every vehicle repair. All you have to do is call ahead on that loaner car. Turn unreliable into reliable with the family that's been doing it the right way for 26 years. Eurofix. 844-EUROFIX or online at myeurofix.com.
A self-proclaimed white supremacist and anti-Semitic has been sentenced to prison in Nashville. We'll tell you about that story and more at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's coming up right after I talk to you for a minute or two. I've never seen the music video for the Rolling Stones. On what platform are we playing Sanjay Gupta? Every time it happens, people complain to me on the super text line about Sanjay. I don't have any control over Sanjay Gupta. I know that Sanjay Gupta is not on the radio. I don't know if there is a segment that appears on the app. Maybe it's on Spotify or TuneIn or iHeart or our own apps or on Talk TV. I don't know. All I can tell you is that is out of my sphere of influence. I appreciate your very robust and heartfelt feelings.
All caps.
One, two, not all caps, Ken, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation points. 5 exclamation points. Not on Twitch, not on iHeart. By the way, I want to, because I'm not going to belabor the Sydney Sweeney talk, but I'm going to say this. I would like to officially give the Murphy take on all of this.
All right.
Congratulations to American Eagle Outfitters or American Eagle. What an incredible amount of earned media you have received. I cannot imagine this ad campaign going better for you. Congratulations. I want to go to American Eagle and buy a pair of blue jeans because of what has happened. And for that, we have all of these leftist lunatics to thank. American Eagle, way to go. Great ad campaign. Keep it up. We've got 3 more hours to go on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Another extreme heat warning for Middle Tennessee. Right now, the National Weather Service says the heat index is 104, the real temperature 97, full forecast traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, a Canadian man, Ryan McCann, has been sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison for assaulting a Jewish man back in July of 2024. A self-proclaimed white supremacist and anti-Semitic, McCann was part of the neo-Nazi group Goyim Defense League that marched through the city carrying Nazi flags and shouting white supremacist rhetoric. During the confrontation, McCann is seen kicking the victim multiple times. Colorado dentist James Craig has been found guilty of first-degree murder in the poisoning death of his wife, Angela Craig, in March of 2023.
As to verdict form, count 1, murder in the first degree. We, the jury, unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt, find the defendant, James Craig, guilty of murder in the first degree.
Prosecutors allege that Craig repeatedly poisoned his wife with cyanide and tetrahydrozoline, an ingredient in eye drops, including lacing her protein shakes. Prosecutors argued that Craig wanted to end his marriage to pursue an extramarital affair and avoid a potentially costly divorce. The NTSB holding the first of 3 days of hearings today to investigate what went wrong when an American Airlines regional jet collided with a Black Hawk helicopter over the skies of Washington, killing 67 people in January. ABC's Sam Sweeney says new information was discussed at the hearing, namely what the pilots of the American Airlines jet first saw the helicopter coming towards them.
We hear them say, oh, and then an expletive. Both pilots say that. We also know that when they were requested to switch runways at that last second, they talked amongst themselves about not taking that request from air traffic control and instead staying on that runway that they were scheduled to. But then they decided they would oblige the request by ATC and switch over to that other runway.
Right now in West Tennessee, Channel 4 says people are shocked to learn someone abandoned a baby in the middle of an extreme heat warning, and it may be connected to the discovery of 4 bodies in a neighboring county.
But it just breaks my heart. I mean, you know, especially sitting out here in this heat. It said it was 113 degrees. Heat index was 113 when they dropped the baby off at 3:11.
Wow.
So it was hot.
It was hot.
Especially, you know, sitting out in the sun.
And a 7-month-old baby, they can't take the heat like we can.
Exactly.
Because, you know, they've got that sensitive skin. And
Now, Dyer County authorities say the infant was left in a car seat in a yard and may be connected to the discovery of 4 bodies found in neighboring Lake County. Both agencies have asked the TBI and FBI to help them in the investigation. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right. Still got an injury crash, 65 northbound right there at the South Loop. Then 40 eastbound near Briley Parkway East over by the airport. Fessler's Lane near Murfreesboro Pike. And now in Franklin got a crash reported 65 southbound near I-840. And in Murfreesboro, still blocked due to fallen power lines. Thompson Lane southbound at Northwest Broad Street. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy and you until 7 o'clock tonight. We'll hand off to the great one, Mark Levin, at that time. It's 8 after 4 o'clock right now on Super Talk, this Wednesday edition. Pleased you've decided to join us whatever time you're able to give us. We're certainly appreciative. Great news regarding the economy earlier today was followed up by a no interest rate reduction by Jerome Powell and the Fed Reserve. We will discuss these matters. And don't go anywhere. I promise we'll try to make it entertaining for you coming up in just a little bit on the show. Don't forget, next hour at 5:35 or thereabouts, we welcome into our studios Governor Bill Lee will join us. I think he's traveling to some part of Tennessee this evening for some sort of event, and he's going to stop by our studios to discuss traveling in Nashville, Tennessee, specifically the possibility of the Music City Loop coming to fruition even before he leaves office as governor of this state. I invite you, if you're listening on 99.7 FM, listening on TuneIn or iHeart or Spotify or our app, Supertalk 99.7's app, I encourage you to go over to the Talk TV side of things, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, not to see me. I'm nothing to look at, but to see the busted TV that Dan Mandis broke this morning on Nashville's Morning News that he repeatedly blamed on poor, pitiful Joan Jones. I don't believe it for a second. I think Joan is kind enough to take one for the team. But you can see that over on the Super Talk television side of things, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble.
Quick question for you, Murphy.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jackson.
If it was our show that broke the TV, who are you blaming, me or Ken?
I would take the blame for everyone. I would fall on the sword, sir. You see, I'm kind of the opposite of Danny Boy. I am the anti-Mandis. I come off as gruff and mean and nasty on this radio show, but in truth, behind the scenes, I am a lovable teddy bear, and everybody knows it. In the reverse, Dan Mandis comes off as that lovable little teddy bear like fuzzball in the mornings on Nashville's Morning News, but in fact, he's a monster. He's a monster. He's a tyrant, and we all know it. Hey, speaking of people that never come around the studio, I got Governor Bill Lee coming in, but Tim Burchett got hit by a horse. I'm worried about Burchett. A lot of our listeners are worried about Burchett. So we said, let's talk to Tim. Let's find out how he's doing, how he's on the mend. I mean, you would think after getting beat up by #NeverCNN and all those liberals in Washington, D.C., he could take a kick in the ribs, and I hope that everything's A-okay. Congressman Burchett, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, brother. Thank you for having me on. I actually talked to Elon Musk about that loop months ago, so I'm excited to see where that thing works out. That's exciting news.
It is exciting news. I mean, you know, sometimes you can tell whether to get really excited about something, Tim, based on the people that are howling against it without knowing the true facts. And the fact that all the liberals have come out of the woodwork and screaming and yelling, because how dare we have a privately funded venture that can alleviate traffic without interference or power and control being handed over to the government? How dare we do that? That's their take on it.
I know it. It's we're just privileged to have these elitists in power.
Tell us how you're doing. What happened to you, brother?
Well, I was. We were bringing some horses in, and my daughter's a barrel racer, my wife and I, and she had the calmer of the two, obviously, and she was ahead of me, and I was the horse was. I had it like everybody says. You know, you're not supposed to stand behind the horse. Well, that gum, I know that, but I was beside the horse, and a big old horsefly about the size of your thumb landed on its butt, and I tried to swish it away, and before I could do that, the horse yelped, which I never heard it do it. Apparently, the fly bit it, and so it bolted out in front of me, and I was still holding on to its lead, and it got in between. You know, I got directly behind it, and it kicked, and it caught me square in the chest and broke a rib. And so, but yeah, I was lucky. The doctor said 1.5 inches higher, and you know, y'all have been saying what a good man I was.
No, that's I mean, as someone who's been around mules and horses in my childhood, that's nothing to play. I mean, everything's fine until something like that happens, and then there's a lot of strength.
That's why I like motorcycles. Yeah, and it's funny. I was in the. They had me in the ER in the trauma unit, and some guy was there and said, I just think you just probably got a deep bruise. And my wife had it on the security camera and pulls it up. And I said, no, this thing lifted me off the ground. And he's like, I don't think so, sir. And then my wife pulls the video up, and the guy was like, ooh, I stand corrected. And so it lifted me off the ground, and I was it's just a freak deal.
Well, I mean, well, Tim, I genuinely don't have any other agenda. I mean, we can talk about the news of the day or whatever you want to talk about, but I mean, my sole agenda, several of our listeners, they've heard our conversations over the past, year or so, and they heard that you had gotten injured on the farm and wanted to make sure that everything was okay during the break.
Well, we're on the mend. I've got somebody driving me around now, but I've only missed one meeting. I missed a Eagle Scout deal yesterday, and I'll call that young man a little later and congratulate him, and I'll take him to dinner or something. But I was just too worn out yesterday. It happened Sunday, and I didn't take an ambulance because I'm notoriously cheap, and I was just like, let's get me in the car. We got in the Bronco, and we went to UT Hospital, and they were great. So,
is the horse? I mean, several people are asking if the horse is okay, Tim.
The horse is great, but as a matter of fact, I was, I went back and saw it that day. Actually, I got out and walked up there, and I could catch my breath and take. It's kind of like you're hiking at a higher altitude all the time, and I went back and loved on him a little bit. He's fine. It was just all my face. Just one of those things, man.
Did you? I mean, as someone, I've had my arm's been broken before. I broke my right arm when I was a kid, but other than that, I've not really had any broken bones. Did you know that? I mean, your rib was broken when it happened.
Well, I was actually. Crazy thing was, I was on the phone with a friend of mine in Florida who'd called me to check on me. He'd see how I was doing, and he's a big supporter of mine. We grew up together, and oldest friend I have in the world. And he's like, "What just happened?" I'll cut out all the expletives, and I said, "Man, I just got kicked, and I was about to black out. I was laying down on the ground, and he's like, he hollered at his wife and said, 'Call Kelly. Tell him that Tim got kicked by a horse.' And he's like, 'Where are you? Which field are you in? Which barn are you by?' And he was just trying to keep me on the phone is what he was doing. And I realized that. But I was just trying not to, I was trying to hang in there. You think crazy things. I was thinking, how big a wuss am I? I said, I got buddies of mine that are in Congress with the Navy SEALs. One of them, he's almost had every bone in his body broke. And I said, I'm sitting here laying here and I'm trying not to black out over just one little horse kick. It was just kind of a surreal moment. But when I go back and watch the video, I quit watching it because I close my eyes. I can just see it. It's just one of those things. I'm just lucky to be alive. I'm very happy, and God looks after fools and drunks, and obviously I don't drink, so there you go.
Well, we're happy that you're okay too, Tim. You meant while we're delving into your personal life, I may as well ask you. I saw you. What kind of car was that of yours? You've got a convertible, right?
Yeah, it's a Carmen Ghia. It's a Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. It's a 1969. My parents were really cool. They're both in heaven. But when I'm an entrepreneur and heavy capitalist, and I'd buy old cars. I was buying cars and motorcycles before I could drive. I had a license to drive. I could drive, but and my parents gave me that for a graduation present from high school, and they owed me $500. I think they paid $1,200 for it, and it was a little rough, rusty floorboards. They rust bad, and I just told them, let's just call it even. When they pulled in the driveway when I graduated from high school in 1982, and I wrecked it my first year in college, and I had a 750 English class, but there was this little AO pie. I was always trying to get her attention. I never did, but it was raining that morning. I wrecked it, wrapped it around a guardrail, and parked it in the backyard for about 15 years, and I bought all the parts. It's a fairly rare car of common parts, so it's called a unibody. It's one piece. So I found the coupe, and I cut the fenders off of it, and we welded them back on. But it's legitimately a show car now. It's beautifully restored, and it couldn't pull the hat off your head. Kids always pull up beside you and want to drag race you. But anyway, I had a flat tire, and if you jack it up wrong, it's a unibody. It can throw the whole body out of kink, and the doors won't open. So we flatbedded it in and got it, and I've since got it going again.
And yet another, by the way, Tim, yet another reminder of why social media is of the devil. I mean, I love it, and I'm in the cesspool with the rest of them. But I watched. I mean, you just put a simple video out. Hey, we had to flatbed the Carmen Ghia in. We had an issue, and the amount of, The amount of crap that social media gave you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't know how to change a tire? And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I've changed more tires for people on the side of the road than the law should allow. But I had to be at a parade, and also I was afraid of leaving it on the side of the road because that's it's a fairly rare car, as I said. Somebody would bang it up or do something stupid. But I called the tow company and had it in, and I got a quick ride down to the parade, and I just you think tires would last. You know, I got those tires when we restored it like almost 30 years ago. You'd think tires would last 30 years. I don't understand.
They don't make them like they used to, I guess,
Yeah,
Tim.
I'm thinking about getting a lawsuit on it and all, but anyway, no, I appreciate you asking. I'm a car motorcycle guy. I know how to fix them. I was in a rush and didn't want to leave it on the side of the interstate.
What kind of bike do you have?
Well, what kind do you want?
Well, I mean, my ride is I've got a Harley 2016 lowrider, the last year of the Diamond.
Okay. I got a 1947 Indian Chief.
Well, I mean, that goes back a ways.
Yeah, I got a 1964 Bonneville. I got a 67 Bonneville, a 76 Bonneville. I got a 1972 BSA. When I married my wife, I had over 100 motorcycles, but my daughter rides horses now, so I don't have as many as I used to.
Have you been to? I come from Birmingham before I got to Nashville in 21. Have you been to Barbers?
I have not. Everybody in America goes up there. I mean, I had former Speaker of the House Jimmy Nafee one time called me and said, "Timmy," he said, "have you ever been to this museum up here, Barber?" He said, "You got to get up here." I was like, "No, I have not." But I hate going to those things because it always makes me want something else, and I need to fix what I got. I'm not like Jay Leno. I got a lot of bikes. Not all mine run like his do. But
that's the rule. What I love about Barber's Motorsports, and I was a friend of George Barber's. I haven't talked to him in several years, but one of the things I loved about his museum is one of the rules. He doesn't take bikes anymore because people are trying to donate them to him all the time, and he says it has to be a pretty special bike in order for him to take it anymore. But his rule was that he would not put anything in his museum that you could not take to his shop, lube up, oil up, and get on the road. He wanted everything running,
right,
which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I've got that's the trouble with motorcycles. You leave them parked, and that's the trouble.
Seize
with
up
mine.
on you.
I have too many of them, and it's just I got to keep them kicked over and the battery's charged, and it's just it's a full-time gig. And like I said, my daughter rides horses, so I don't. My priorities are. I wish she was stuck with motorcycles. They were cheaper and safer.
Well, motorcycles and horses are similar in this regard. At least my experience is more on the motorcycle side. Everything's fine until it's not. Everything's great until it's not.
Yep, you're right. But you can't park that horse in the garage.
Well, true that. You can't turn it off, and you keep having to feed it. Tim, yeah. I hesitate to ask you anything. I want you to get a respite from
ahead.
One question about you are known to be a seeker of truth. And you're not afraid to go there when others might be afraid to go there. I just want to ask you generally, do you think no matter who's trying, no matter what type of questions we're asking, do you think we're going to get the full story on Epstein?
No, I don't. I think too much time's happened. I think we're, do you honestly believe Lee Harvey Oswald shot President Kennedy from the front and the back, and a lead-jacketed bullet was found on the gurney that went through two different bodies an hour and a half after they brought his body in Texas? It's too much time's passed. I think if files probably been tainted with over the first, and I don't think Trump's in them, because if they were, Biden would have released it. But I just think it's a diversion. It just drives me crazy. But I knew that from the beginning when I don't think he committed suicide, but that's just me. I don't have any proof other than my gut, and which generally has not failed me in this game. But I'm frustrated with the whole thing, really. I just want to get to the bottom of it, and that's why I asked to subpoena her. I was the one that did that, and I wrote Chairman Comer a letter, I guess it's been 3 weeks ago, and then finally we just went on and asked him to subpoena her, and he did. Chairman Comer's a stand-up guy. He's out of Kentucky, and he wants to get to the truth too, but it's just it's just a lot of obstacles right now, and I don't and both it's both sides of the aisle. So I just don't ever think we'll get to the bottom of it.
Well, it doesn't. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say it doesn't stop you from trying, and that's what we appreciate about
I'm
you.
going to keep trying. I'm not going to give up. But something else I hope you pay attention to is this the bill stock trading that's gotten some new life because Anna Polina Luna is threatening to bring my bill to the floor, and it basically just says you can't trade individual stocks. You have to own a mutual fund. My buddy Tommy Seiler in Knoxville handles my $12,000 mutual fund, and that's what members of Congress should have. It should, I get tired of them saying how much money they're sacrificing to be in Congress. Well, dadgummit, then get out of Congress.
Amen.
It's just not, to me, it's to sit there and watch us make 200%, 300%, 400% return on investment and then tell the American public that we're not doing anything shady. It's just, to me, it's just too much. Both parties are doing it. And this is the type of thing will get me primaried, though, but I'm just so fed up with it, and it's so obvious to me. And when you have people's stock portfolios that are based on trading by members of Congress, it's just a nightmare to me, and nobody is buying that. And both parties are winking and nodding. I mean, I've had calls from members of both parties today because it sort of broke. Luna just got ticked off with everybody and said, we're going to do this thing.
Well, let's do it. I'm glad for it. And you will get widespread support across this country for the legislation. Tim, heal up. Don't think about any of this right now. We got to run, but I just thank you for being on with us. I hope you continue to feel better, and we'll talk to you about politics and the like very soon.
All right, brother. Just remember, if you're at a concert and you're hugging up on somebody, make sure it's your dadgum wife.
That was a good one. That was good. I like that one.
There's Congressman Tim Burchett not losing his sense of humor, but breaking a rib. 26 after the hour on Superdog. Summer is the time to feel and look your best. And I'm not talking about your abs or your tan, friends. I'm talking about your hair. Restore your bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, add volume to thinning hair during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Let's talk about that summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. They guarantee your new hair will grow. There's absolutely no one in hair restoration that I would trust more than Advanced Hair. Take advantage of your flexible summer schedule and your calendar and get the most out of your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on right now for a limited time. Get details and schedule your free consultation today. Here's the number, 629-348-HAIR, 629-348-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results with Advanced Hair. Your new hair is guaranteed, underline that, guaranteed to grow. So check out the incredible before and afters and take advantage of their best offer ever. It's 629-348-HAIR or advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
4:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everybody in Middle Tennessee under this extreme heat warning. Right now, the National Weather Service says the heat index is 104, with the real temperature being 97. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Terrifying story out of Danville, Virginia, after police say someone entered the offices of Showcase magazine and attacked Lee Vogler, the director of sales there at Showcase, who also happens to serve as a Danville city councilman.
An individual forced his way into our office carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline and poured the gasoline on Lee. Lee attempted to flee, ran to the front of the building. The individual followed him and set him on fire.
Suspects in custody. No word on Vogler's condition. A jury today convicted a Colorado dentist of first-degree murder in the poisoning death of his wife. Prosecutors said James Craig repeatedly laced his wife's smoothies with poison while she was hospitalized in Denver. And when those attempts failed, he gave his wife Angela a final dose of cyanide. ABC's Alex Stone with more on the cyanide that was used to murder Angela.
The cyanide arrived at his dentist's office in a box. He had told his office mates, do not open it. I'm going to get a package. You don't need to see what's in there. Don't worry. It's a personal thing for me. And one of the assistants did not hear that. She opened it up and there was cyanide in there. He argued that was for the dentist's office, but dentists say there's no reason why you would ever need cyanide in a dentist practice, and that was going to then kill Angela Craig.
Now, James Craig did not testify during the trial. The defense suggested Angela Craig may have taken her own life, but prosecutors argued Craig wanted to end his marriage to pursue an extramarital affair and avoid a potentially costly divorce. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we got a stalled vehicle off on the left shoulder, 24 eastbound near Murfreesboro Pike. Then 65 southbound near I-840 in Franklin. And then Thompson Lane at Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro. Thompson Lane southbound still blocked there due to fallen power lines. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Alpha and Omega Computer Consultation. Friends, if you own a business or if you know someone that owns a business, please encourage them to call Michael at Alpha and Omega, because unless they own a computer business, they don't know as much about computers as even if they do, they don't know as much about computers as Michael and Alpha and Omega. And if you're running a shop selling merchandise, or if you're trying to run your business the right way, the last thing you need is to get bogged down in computer or IT issues or printer issues or, goodness forbid, cybersecurity issues. Enjoy unlimited support, around-the-clock network security monitoring, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with Alpha and Omega, and it's happening right here in Middle Tennessee. You don't have to depend on a company that's overseas or somewhere across the United States of America. They're right here. They're our friends and neighbors. Michael and his team have been doing this since 1998. They'll take complete ownership. They'll help with all of your IT needs, your internet, your printers, your computer systems, your cybersecurity, you name it, they'll take care of it. If you're a business owner, you need to make this call to Alpha and Omega. 615-784-0096, 784-0096, or online at ANO.net. That's ANO.net. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy talking about the Glock store. You know, I love this shop. I love everything about it. You will, too. I invite you to go by. I'll tell you how to get there in just a moment. But I want to tell you a specific thing about what they're doing at the Glock store that's pretty cool. Most new guns come optic ready right out of the box. Glock calls it MOS for modular optic system. But if you bought your Glock before optics were a big thing, does that mean you're left out in the cold and you just have to deal with it? No, it does not mean that, because Lenny McGill has your back when it comes to your Glock. Out of all of their manufacturing machines, there are technical terms for these things, but these are CNC machines. 3 of them are dedicated to cutting Glock slides to precisely fit the red or green dot optic of your choosing. And they'll do it in 10 days or less. And more often than not, it is much less, because you can just go to the store and drop it off. It's oftentimes a lot less. And unlike the optic-ready Glocks, which rely on plates, your optic will sit lower. It'll be more secure. It'll be more accurate. Friends, the Glock store has already cut over 20,000 of these. Customer slides, and every single one of them has been perfect. They're good that way. I invite you to go see the Glock store. They know everything about Glocks. They're within, they're within such a simple drive no matter where you are. And if you've never shot a Glock with an optic on it, remember, you can do that at the Glock store in their shooting rooms. The Glock store, minutes away from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere on Airlane Drive, just off of Elm Hill Pike. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you. I mentioned that I got nothing for Senator Josh Hawley. I think he's performative in his nature. He has now presented this idea of sending back $600 in rebates. He calls them tariff rebates back to the American people. For a total of a family of 4 would receive a $2,400 rebate check. Look, I'm all about the American people keeping our money. It's your money. You earned your money. The government doesn't generate money. You generate money. But we do not need to be talking about rebates when we're still overspending by billions, if not trillions of dollars on an annual basis. That's just the bottom line. Josh Hawley wants to buy votes that way. I believe we need to balance our budget and eat into the national debt. Well, Donald Trump has gone after Josh Hawley for a different reason. And several of you are saying, like, what is Trump blasting Senator Josh Hawley over? Well, Tim Burchett made mention of it, and I'm glad to see that Anna Luna, I always screw her name up. It's Anna Paulina Luna or Anna Paulina, Luna Paulina, one way or the other, congressperson from the state of Florida. Donald Trump wants to know, why would one Republican, and he put Republican in quotes, which I love, Senator Josh Hawley of the great state of Missouri, join all of the Democrats to block a review sponsored by Senator Rick Scott and with the support of almost all other lawmakers of Nancy Pelosi's stock trading over the last 25 years. The information was inappropriately released just minutes before the vote, very much like sabotage. The Democrats, because of our tremendous achievements and success, have been trying to target me for a long period of time. And they're using Josh Hawley, who I got elected twice, as a pawn to help them. I wonder why Hawley would pass a bill that Nancy Pelosi is in absolute love with. He is playing right into the dirty hands of the Democrats. It's a great bill for her and her, quote, husband, but bad for our country. I don't think real Republicans want to see their president, who has had unprecedented success, targeted because of the whims of a second-tier senator named Josh Hawley. President Trump going after Hawley, calling him second tier, came out swinging against the good senator. So the idea was that there was information that was inappropriately released before the vote, and he believes that it is sabotage. Here's what I would tell you. Here's what I would be agreeable to. I know that we need to pay consistent with the market, right? The private sector. We need to pay individuals for their time to serve in Congress as a senator or a congressperson. What I would suggest to you is that these individuals should be forced into putting their whatever stocks they're engaged in, whatever markets they're engaged in, these ought to be in blind trusts at very least, and at preferably you just eliminate their ability to market trade during their service to their country. There is far too much insider trading going on, and we see it all the time. Frankly, one of the reasons that Congressman Mark Green and I got a little sideways is because he was one of the best at stock trading. I mean, he had generated millions and millions of dollars as a stock trader while in Congress, and he didn't seem very good at it before he got in Congress. And I'm not suggesting that Mark Green was engaged in anything without having information. I would not suggest that he was doing anything wrong. We had him on the show, and I said, what magic are you doing? He goes, oh, it's my guy up in Clarksville. I said, well, who is it? And he wouldn't tell me. I don't want to put a bullseye around him. Really? Okay. Mark Green was like third, I think, in terms of Congress people in their amount of money generated by their trading. Nancy Pelosi was obviously first. So we'll see where that goes, but that's Donald Trump. Now, closer to home, we've got Governor Bill Lee coming up next hour. He will be in studio with us talking about the excitement of the possibility of the Music City Loop. And we've talked to a lot of politicians about it. We've spoken regarding, what they are able to do and what the folks over at the Boring Company have indicated that they can do. And they are not, they're not being a Pollyanna here either. The people at the Boring Company have indicated that they understand that doing things in Nashville or doing things around our neck of the woods regarding the limestone and whatnot that come with all of that has a different set of difficulties above and beyond the sand-based boring that they were doing out in Las Vegas. Now, the sand has its own issues, too, because there's a lot of sinkage with regard to the sand. Well, I received an email from a listener, and I appreciated the email so much, I invited this person on. His name is Jack. I don't know if he wants to give his last name, but he's a structural engineer. He said, I've been in the tunnels under Vanderbilt and TSU. It's like wading in a shallow creek all the way with the little leaks all the way through the walls every several yards. I'm sure they've been successful in short runs other places, but 10 miles to B&A in water-creviced limestone will be a challenge. I'm just saying. By the way, instead of inviting politicians on your show to talk about something they know nothing about, move higher up the food chain. Maybe invite people like geotechnical, mechanical, structural, or HVAC and traffic engineers. And that was sent from Jack. And so I said, well, Jack, why don't you come on the show? And Jack has agreed to come on the show. Now, it says Jack on my email, and Jackson, being the excellent producer that he is, he has put Jake on my screen.
I misread the email.
Hello, Jack. How are you? Thank you for coming on with us.
I'm fine. I was just listening to your show yesterday when you were talking about the tunnel and who you wanted to invite, and it sounded like, that nobody would come or you would have a problem getting people to come. I'm happy to see Governor Lee coming on. But
I've had, by the way, just to correct the record, I've had no problem having supporters of this tunnel come on. What I've had problems with are those that are against it, particularly politicians. Democrats have they won't come on and express why they're against it, but that's fair.
Yeah. Well, being an engineer, I'm looking at it from the technical aspect of it. Now, the tunnels under Vanderbilt and at the hospitals and the university, they were all industrial type tunnels to carry steam pipes, cable trays, and mechanical distribution, where the walls weren't, touched up. You had to drill into the walls to get pipe hangers and all that. And there was a lot of water seepage, but that's okay. This is a different animal, and I'm sure they've addressed all those problems with their Vegas run, which, as I understand, was only 1.7 miles. Now we're talking about 10 miles to B&A. But, I thought to shed some light on the subject, maybe talk to some of the engineering disciplines that I mentioned in the email, like your geotechnical survey, piece structural, architectural, HVAC, traffic engineers, and so forth.
And you're a structural guy?
Yes. Yeah, I've been practicing for 55 years. I have notable projects all over the South, and I did the Sun Sphere in Knoxville, the BNA lobby that they tore down. I designed all that. Now it's gone. Yeah, I mean, so I've had to touch all these disciplines in my realm of work, designing a lot of industrial type projects, all kinds, institutional and so forth. It might behoove you to get like and I would be interested also. I mean, I don't know where the tunnel line is going to be. I heard under Murfreesboro Road. I'm not sure. I know the tunnels down in over at Vanderbilt, they're like 100 feet deep. I don't know where they were trying to avoid crevices along the way or whatever. But I mean, in 10 miles, I suspect somebody's going to have to do an extensive geotechnical survey, which would include drilling and maybe ground penetrating radar. I know I've run into projects like Metro Center where we thought we had solid rock, and we get down there and it's one part of the building sitting on a boulder, and you got a bridge over with a lot of grout to get to the other solid place to get the corner of the building. So, it'd be interesting to get the geotechnical person on there to talk about the geology of Nashville. Of course, we know mostly limestone. Vegas, I'm not quite sure. There's sandstone. Of course, they have a very flat situation out there. And fortunately, I checked the elevation of BNA and the elevation of downtown. They're roughly equal. So it could be a straight line. I mean, I wouldn't expect these things to be, climbing up and down hills or anything.
I think they want to keep it. It's my understanding they want to try to keep it somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 50 feet below ground. And they've not announced the route as of yet, Jack. But it's my understanding that they are utilizing state property. Obviously, the only thing that the state can grant them the leasing permissions to would be property that the state owns, and most people that I've spoken with on background tell me that it will go down Murfreesboro Pike.
Yeah. I'm sure in 10 miles, they're going to have to do some drop-down shafts to provide HVAC, air circulation.
Yeah, basic ventilation.
And maybe emergency evacuations. And so forth. I mean, you can't put one HVAC at one end of the tunnel 10 miles and expect it to do all the work. So you're going to have to have a bunch of pop-up little buildings along the way. I know at Vanderbilt we had a little pop-up building to get down into the tunnel. Of course, it wasn't dropping cars down or anything, but some of like your geotechnical. Traffic engineer maybe could shed some light on that. Also,
you would agree, Jack, that just because we haven't seen something, as a structural engineer yourself, just because we haven't seen something done in the past doesn't mean that we can't advance the technology to get it done in the future. I
have no doubt that the technology could get it done, at a price. As long as all of these obstacles are addressed from the get-go. And I'm sure they've done that in Vegas. Maybe if you got some representative from the boring company over there to talk about these things.
No, we're working on it. I'm trying. Heck, I'm trying to get Elon himself, but that's a little tough nut to crack. But yeah. I mean, because it's. I've been a big fan of this. I think it sounds futuristic. It sounds incredible, but you're right to put a pause on it and say, well, a lot of these questions have to be answered because I mean, obviously, this is something unlike anything we've ever heard of. And if they're staking their own money, I would hope that the state and the boring company have discussed these types of things. We'll talk with the governor about it. But as a structural engineer, as someone who has dealt with things underground, I mean, is your primary concern in Tennessee water-based? I mean, because what I've read on the boring company is that their tunnel is waterproof, is what they say.
Yeah, well, I read about that. They do grout around the tunnel, and I'd say they can probably handle the water. You know, if they got that established in Vegas, it's just, you know, you're going to have up shafts along the way, and a lot of engineering have to go into it. You know, I'm just an objective, ask questions kind of person, you know.
No, I get no. I mean, no. Look, that's why I invited you on the show because I mean, I appreciate that.
I appreciate you having me on. And
well, we'll if you know of anyone that can lend, you know, a slightly different area of expertise, civil engineer, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, these are things that are beyond my area of expertise. Clearly, Jack. So I'm willing to talk to anybody. As excited as I am about it, I want to be realistic too. And you know, there's a lot of trust that you give to the people that are putting out their money to do this, and the feeling is if boring is willing to shell out all of the capital expenditure, all they are asking for are the leasing rights, right? So if they're willing to put out all of the money, then, you know, part of me says, well, I mean, they have some personal, you know, and business security that they're going to be able to pull this off. Otherwise, it's just it's a $100 million boondoggle.
Yeah, security is another issue too. I mean, you can imagine somebody wanting to sabotage a downshaft into the tunnel. You know, that would be, because you got a plan for smoke evacuation and that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you could get the boring company to sponsor a question and answer series where they could present it. I don't know why they need to present it to the public, because the council's not into it. I mean, we're not spending public money. Like, you know, we could ask questions, but
well, I think they want to be friends of the community. I mean, the whole idea is the spirit of this is just to augment what is already a great tourism industry in Nashville. And, you know, clearly it's not going to help everybody, but, you know, it's going to help us residually by continuing that tourism. But you know, I'll ask. I would love to get some answers. Let me ask you one final question, Jack.
Okay.
Because many of my – and I'm not trying to put you on the spot or embarrass you at all. I promise you I'm not. But a lot of my listeners on the Super Text line, if I told you sounded like somebody, who would you tell me you sounded like?
Johnny Cash.
Well, Johnny Cash is a good – I mean, I'm getting a lot of Hank Hills. Do you know who Hank Hill is?
Who?
Hank Hill.
No.
Okay. Well,
I'm speaking on an iPhone.
No, you sound great. You sound great. You sound great. You do sound a little like Hank Hill, and a lot of listeners said that Hank Hill's a great character on an animated series called King of the Hill. Okay. It's a compliment. It's a compliment, Jack.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's well. Listen, keep listening. Keep me straight. If I get out of bounds, hit me up on the email, and we can get another call going. Okay.
Okay. Glad to talk with you.
Good to talk with you as well. There's Jack joining us, structural engineer, expressing some concerns. I mean, I feel like none of those are. I mean, these are just questions that the man's asking, and rightly so. I mean, I'm certain that there's a lot of questions that our state officials, Department of Transportation and whatnot, have been asking. Look at the time. It's 56 after the hour. I got to scoot. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Propane and propane accessories. Pretty good. That's pretty good, King. Yeah, no, nothing from you, Hank Hill? No?
Never been a big King of the Hill guy.
Before your time? Damn it, Bobby. Anyway, let's put that on the back burner for a moment, the back propane burner. And let me tell you about this. Listeners ask me and have asked, what makes advanced hair restoration different? Let me tell you. Here are the details, because their once-a-year summer savings event is here, and now is the best time ever for you to take advantage of the advanced hair restoration process. First off, Advanced Hair stands by their results. Their before and afters are second to none. You will see. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Number two, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, create a concierge quality experience that's hard to find elsewhere. Lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE treatment begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy, and it works. If you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, it's here. Advanced Hair's summer savings event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details and to schedule your free consultation, call 629-348-HAIR. 629-348-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. AdvancedHair.com. That's AdvancedHair.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And boy, that heat index is just going up and down today. We've reached 104 degrees, according to the National Weather Service, at a couple of points today. But right now, National Weather Service says the heat index is 99 and the real temperature is 94. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, the TBI involved in an investigation concerning the discovery of 4 bodies following the abandonment of an infant. This is in Dyer County, up there just north of Memphis. A 7-month-old infant found abandoned in a car seat in a stranger's yard on Old Highway 20 there yesterday. A witness saw the child and called 911.
But it just breaks my heart. I mean, you know, especially sitting out here in this heat. It said it was 113 degrees. Heat index was 113.
Later that day, 4 people were found dead in neighboring Lake County, and authorities say they have found a link to the infant. It's unknown how those people died. A dark-colored minivan or white midsize SUV was reported to have dropped off the baby. A jury today convicting a Colorado dentist of first-degree murder in the poisoning death of his wife. Prosecutors said James Craig repeatedly laced his wife's smoothies with poison while she was in the hospital in Denver. When those attempts failed, he gave his wife Angela a final dose of cyanide. Here's Alex Stone.
His defense team had said, look, Angela Craig was suicidal, that he helped Angela Craig kill herself, and that is why he got the cyanide, and that this was an assisted suicide. That would have been the manslaughter had they gone with that. But they said no, that this was murder, that she did not want to die, that in text messages, and that was clear, that this was him murdering his wife to get rid of her and nothing more than that.
James Craig did not testify during the trial. Prosecutors said he wanted out of the marriage and he wanted to avoid a costly divorce. Better check the code and lot number on any High Noon you might have in the fridge. A mistaken switch in labels prompting a recall of popular drinks. Here's Alex Stone again.
High Noon is recalling its 12-pack of popular vodka seltzer drinks because some of the cans were found to be mislabeled as Celsius energy drinks, and consumption may result in unintentional alcohol intake, according to the FDA, if somebody thinks they're drinking an energy drink, but they're actually having a vodka seltzer drink. The company says nobody has reported getting ill or having adverse events because of the mix-up. Alex Stone, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Right now, eastbound 440 in between 65 and 24. To get over to 24 is like a parking lot until Nolensville Pike. Now, we got a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, 40 eastbound at Spence Lane. In Antioch, a crash on the left shoulder. That is at 24 westbound after Hickory Hollow Parkway. And then in South Nashville, got a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, 24 eastbound near Murfreesboro Pike. And in Rutherford County, TDOT's reporting a crash blocking the left lane, 840 westbound near I-24. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, an economy update with our own president, Donald J. Trump, coming up in just a moment. An illegal alien update coming up in mere seconds. My name is Matt Murphy, and we welcome you to the Matt Murphy Radio Show. If you're just joining us, just getting in your automobiles or whatnot, we thank you for being a part of our day and allowing us to be a part of your day. 9 minutes after 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and really everywhere in the Central Time Zone. Jackson's behind the glass. He makes sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. Say hello, Jackson.
Hello.
And then there's Ken Weaver. He's back in News Closet B. They don't give him a window, but they give him the time twice an hour to give you the headlines that you need to know about, and he inundates you with all this heat index nonsense.
No, that's National Weather Service that does it.
Mm-hmm. So it's somebody wanted me to tell you something, Ken.
Yes, sir.
93 in the barn. That's what they said.
93 in the barn.
That's what they said.
What's the real feels, Ken?
Real field temperature right now is 94.
I feel like it's 72.
I'm actually a little chilly.
I feel so. I hear you when I'm coming in, listening to good old Chad Benson and Ken Weaver go back and forth, and he's talking to the weather wizard, which is what Chad calls Ken, and they're talking and they're going on. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, you know what it feels like to me outside? About 68. And y'all are going to look at me like, what? And I'm going to say, well, that's the way it feels to me. Who are you to tell me what it feels like out there? That's me.
I won't say that. I'll just say, how about you, Brother Murphy?
You will. That's true. By the way, you need to get over there to that McKay's. You really do.
Dude, you should not have done
Whatever. What are you talking about? That was easy. That was, look, you're my man. What are you talking about?
Well, it's very nice of you.
Oh, God, stop it.
It is.
That's the least I could do.
Brother Murphy, by the way, he helped me complete my journey with Steve Perry as the lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
My collection of Journey vinyls with Steve Perry as the lead singer.
There was there were two copies over there. One of them said scratched on it, so I didn't get that copy. I got that copy, and that copy. Listen, man, oh man, it was a lucrative evening at McKay's for Matt Murphy.
I'm telling you, dude. How
many
CDs did you turn in?
There was a lot of them. There was a lot of
like you have a big old box of them.
Yeah, there were a lot of jazz CDs. A lot from E's grandfather, who he was into. What was that guy's name? Dave Brubeck.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of those. A lot of like 40s and 50s and 60s type big band type stuff. And I like all of that stuff, but I want to get rid of every CD I've ever owned. I want to get rid of the physical media and get, because I don't listen to it anymore. So I turned all that in, and more into albums nowadays anyway. But
yeah.
I think quality over quantity, Ken. Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity, and yeah, that Dave Brubeck, man, that's some good stuff.
Oh yeah, And so we turned in a bunch of stuff last night and got a big old – they'll give you cash if you want cash, or they'll give you credit. And obviously, the credit is about double what you get in the cash. So it was
they take cassettes?
Yeah. They do.
I got a big old mess of cassettes.
They take cassettes.
Big old mess of cassettes.
They
But
do
see,
that.
I'm not going to get rid of it. I just can't do it. I love music so much, and I like the tangible.
Yeah, you want to be able to hold it, look at it,
right,
feel of it.
And when Jennifer and I started, looking for vinyl, at first we just we got a couple of albums. We got a couple of Johnny Cash and Loretta Lynn and some Patsy Cline albums, and then it just took off. We thought we'd just be happy just every now and then slapping on Patsy or Loretta and Johnny. And then, man, it's turned into, we're going crazy.
I absolutely love the old country albums, the deep cuts on the country albums.
Yeah.
It's where I found out about the George Jones tune, and I eventually talked to the guy that wrote this tune.
Yeah.
What was it? It was Leaving Our Love All Over the Place.
Oh, boy.
Do you know the song Leaving Our Love All Over the Place?
Yes.
And it was obviously a deep cut. It was never presented as a single on radio stations. But the couple in that song die.
Yeah, it's not.
It is an interesting tune, Ken Weaver.
Dude, the possum saying more than a few songs, they'll bring a tear to your eye.
No question. No question.
And, man, his voice, George Jones' voice, it's just, you can't match it. I mean,
it had a moan to it.
It had a moan, but it was all, I don't know how he did it, man. But, God gave him one heck of a voice. And I sure am thankful for George Jones' music.
Man, I am too. I do say I've always said, everybody wants to say the saddest song ever written was He Stopped Loving Her Today.
Yes,
and it's
sir.
a pretty sad one.
It is.
And people bring up Vince Gill and When I Call Your Name. That's a pretty good one too. Boy, oh boy, talk about somebody that could moan out a lyric. But I stand by the saddest song or the saddest verse ever written is Merle Haggard.
Merle had some.
Merle had Holding Things Together.
The
second verse of Holding Things Together, I think, is the saddest lyrics ever written in country music.
I got to see this. Things Together.
It is.
I love the Hag too, man.
It's a song about, a lot of people were writing music about. So I think I got it, Ken. So a lot of people writing music were writing music about men leaving women, and this is a song about a woman leaving a man with their two children. And the second verse of the song, I think I'm right. It says, "Today was Angie's birthday.
Yeah.
I guess it slipped your mind. I tried twice to call you, but no answer either time. But the postman brought a package I mailed some days ago. I signed it Love from Mama, so Angie wouldn't know."
Yeah.
That'll rip your guts out.
Yes, sir.
Woo!
Yeah.
Anyway.
Merle Haggard, those old school guys, man, and gals.
That's country.
You just can't beat them. You can't beat them.
Music. We will have Dusty Slay, who's got a new Netflix special out. He's a good friend of the show. We're going to have Dusty on to talk about country music because he's taking a strong stand that this new stuff is not real country. So I'll leave it for y'all to decide. I'm not.
Yeah, because I like all kinds of music. I love all kinds, and I know what he's saying. It's not. I like to say it's not the traditional country that I'm used to.
That's right.
These people are still very talented.
Oh, no question.
But there's just something about the fiddle, the guitar, the mandolin, the banjo, no electronics.
Just Conway Twitty standing up there on stage, just pouring his heart out, man.
Well, those ladies loved Conway Twitty.
They did. I wonder what they would have thought when they saw him bald. You know what I'd like
He
to
wasn't
see?
Bald, was he?
I think he was. I'd like
wearing a toupee?
No, yes, Conway wore a toupee. Come on.
He did not.
That's not his real deal. Come on. What I want to see Mandis in the Conway toupee. That's what I want to see. Now we're talking. That'd be something else. Yeah, Ken, you reminded me of that line from Blues Brothers when they walked into the bar. What kind of music do y'all play? Oh, we play both kinds, country and Western. I'm like, okay. They set up and they started singing.
Took the good old boy's place.
Yep.
Love that movie.
They sang the hell out of "Stand By Your Man."
Yes, they did.
Oh, they got them all. They got those fellas busted up enough. They started throwing beer bottles at the chicken wire.
Who are you guys? We're the good old boys.
Orange whip, orange whip, orange whip. 3 orange whips. Gosh, I hope the governor's not listening to this on his way over here.
Oh, he probably is.
Well, let's get into some meat and taters.
Yes, sir.
According to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, over the past 6 months, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has arrested 214 illegal aliens in the Houston area alone. This is in Houston, Texas, for immigration violations, and each of those individuals have been charged with a sex offense involving a minor. 214 of these individuals. When your liberal friends tell you that Donald Trump's doing something that's just awful and horrible and horrific, ask them about all these sex offenders that are being caught and charged. The figure surpasses the total number of similar arrests made by the Houston field office during the entire 2024 fiscal year, which recorded 211 such apprehensions. The increase in arrests attributable to the comprehensive whole-of-government strategy initiated by the Trump administration. Central to that approach, the deployment of multi-agency targeting teams within operational jurisdiction. In other words, Trump's immigration progress is robust, it is working, and we thank Donald Trump for it. And the Trump administration by extension, and Tom Homan, and Kristi Noem, and the rest of them. All right, Patrick's got a thought on Conway Twitty, and we'll take a time out, and I think we've got the governor a little bit early. Patrick, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going? Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty did a song called back years and years ago called "You're the Reason Our Kids Are Ugly." It was called "You're the Reason."
Yeah.
Toward the end of that song, Loretta Lynn threw a ding at Conway Twitty, saying, "Well, yeah, what about the ones that's bald?"
I know the song well.
It makes
Yeah.
you almost wonder if even back then he had a toupee. Who knows?
No, I think he did. I mean, because, yeah, she got him because they're just riffing on one another toward the end of that song. And he said something about the kids taking after her.
Her side of the family.
And she goes, "Oh, really? Well, what about
the ones that's bald?"
And he just broke up. He just started. He goes, "Well, I guess you got a point."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Conway was not.
Good man.
Sorry, Patrick. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Conway was follically challenged, as they say. Not so much. I mean, Conway could have used advanced hair. You know, next time I talk about advanced hair, I'm going to talk about Conway Twitty. It's 20 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So we get a lot of questions when it comes to Premier Generators, your home generator system, your Generac dealer in Middle Tennessee. The number one Generac generator dealer in Middle Tennessee is Premier Generators. And the questions come from far and wide about exactly what the advantages of having a Premier Generac generator in the home truly are. Well, you know, a generator kicks in after about 15 seconds of losing your power. Just enough time for you to realize the power is out. It is right back on. You never have to worry about power outages again. Plus, it's going to completely improve the value of your home. This is the bottom line, friends. Common power outages happen this time of year with thunderstorms coming through. Obviously, with aging infrastructure and other electrical issues in your home community, it could be more of a problem in your area, less of a problem in other areas, but it's a problem for all of us listening. If you want to increase the value of your home, if you want to guarantee that you have the power on in the event of a power outage, I want you to contact your Premier Generac generator dealer. That is Premier Generators. Go to premiergenerators.com. That's premiergenerators.com, or call 855-POWER is on, 855-PWR. ISON, 855-797-4766. Ask them about their 10-year warranty. You need to call today and ask them about that today, and make sure your power stays on tonight with Premier Generators.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone's under an extreme heat warning in Middle Tennessee. Second straight day. Right now, the National Weather Service says the heat index is 99 with the real temperature 94 in Nashville. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in our nation's capital, House Oversight and Government Reform Committee member Paulina Luna trying to force a vote on a bill to ban stock trading by members of Congress through a discharge petition. The bill she wants to bring to a vote was introduced by Tennessee's 2nd District Congressman Tim Burchett, who tells WTN's Matt Murphy Show.
To sit there and watch us make 200, 300, 400% return on investment and then tell the American public that we're not doing anything shady, it's just, to me, it's just too much. Both parties are doing it.
Potential civil penalties with this bill carry fines up to $100,000 for each violation. The Federal Reserve voted to keep the benchmark interest rate steady in a range of 4.25% to 4.50% at its latest meeting today. Meanwhile, the nation's economy grew at a faster rate than expected for the second quarter. According to the Commerce Department, GDP rose 3% from April to June, but economists say that number only tells a portion of the story. ABC's Alexis Christoforous says businesses are playing it safe and not making any major investment decisions to curb any additional costs brought on by President Trump's tariff policies.
Business investment actually contracted last quarter, and that could be because a lot of businesses are saying, look, we can't really make a plan for the future because of all the economic uncertainty, and some economists are saying that weakness is something to look out for.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris announced in a statement she will not be running for governor of California in 2026, saying for now her, quote, leadership in public service will not be an elected office. Here's political director for ABC News, Avery Harper.
She said she is going to continue to speak out about issues that she cares about. She's going to help Democrats try to elect other Democrats in states across the country as we approach the midterm year. And her involvement is going to be important as Democrats try to regain some power in a Washington where they have very little.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we got a stalled vehicle off on the left shoulder, slowing things down 24 eastbound near Murfreesboro Pike. Another accident on the left shoulder. This is 24 westbound after a Hickory Hollow Parkway. And then in Glencliff, got a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder, 40 eastbound. This is going to be at Spence Lane. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You know, not only do I think Savory Spice, Holly, David, and their team, it's a locally owned spice shop in Franklin, Tennessee, right? You go down to the square. If you see the Gray's Pharmacy sign, right beside the Gray's Pharmacy sign is Savory Spice. Not only do they have a better selection of spices, they've got everything you can possibly imagine. Not only do they have a better knowledge of spices, seasonings and salts and peppers and all of those things, they're locally owned, and I absolutely love spending my money local with a better selection and a better value around. You know, I give the example all the time. Holly called me about 4 months ago, and she said, Matt, about 25% of our stock, our suppliers are charging us less, so we're charging our customers less. Just let everybody know. I mean, that's the type of folks they are, the type of business owners and community neighbors they are. I like to say you up your food game by upping your spice game, and you up your spice game at Savory Spice. So I encourage you to stop by and say hello to Holly, David, and the rest of the crew at Savory Spice. I always get nervous when advanced security starts walking around, but no need to be nervous. That advanced security is not for me. It is for our next guest. We are honored to have the governor of the great state of Tennessee in studio with us to talk about some of the wonderful things that we've been discussing at length on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And without further ado, we say welcome, Governor. How are you, sir?
Hey, Matt. Thank you, sir. I'm happy to be back in studio with you.
Well, it's good to have you back. I think you've been kind of busy lately.
It's been a busy summer, but it's been very productive.
I think so. Well, I mean, let's just start chomping on that elephant in the room.
Yep.
It's a very exciting time. We heard this story maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
There were a couple of little pieces about it, and it came to our attention. And it was one of those blips that came up. Hey, tunnel in Tennessee, Nashville tunnel, helping out tourists from the airport to downtown. And it's one of those things you go, yeah, right, whatever.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, there you are, and there's the Boring Company, and there's B&A, and there's the Tourism Bureau, and y'all are telling me this is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it was started more than 3 months ago. We've been working on this for quite a while, and we knew that the Boring Company was looking to find a city that they could invest in, and they're a technologically advanced company that's very reputable, and they're a global company, and they have done this. They've done it in Vegas, and they've started in some other places, but they saw Nashville and they saw the uniqueness of the city, and they saw why it would make their business model work. And so they started talking to us, and we are in a really fortunate spot right now.
Tell me what your initial thoughts were when this was brought to you, when you started having conversations with your folks or with the Boring Company. Walk me through how that went with you.
Well, when part of your job is to think about infrastructure and transportation and transit and moving people, and when that's part of your job, it's kind of why we did the Transportation Modernization Act with the General Assembly and had so much collaboration there, because we want to figure out how it is that we can be in a state that's growing this fast, that has this economic activity that we do, the fastest growing economy in the country, one of them, and that we can stay ahead of that and that we can invest wisely. And so when you're thinking about infrastructure and then a company comes along and says, we'd like to invest, we'd like to build a transit system in your city. We want to start with a tunnel that moves people from the airport to the city center. And our business model is we invest, we create it, we build it, we do it, and at no cost to you or no cost to your taxpayers, because it works for us as a business. It was music to my ears. I mean, that any city in America would want to have a transit system built at no cost to the city or the state, and that's what we got.
Obviously, your role as governor is to not only bring these opportunities in, but to make sure that they're going to be safe, whether it's in the process of construction or in the aftermath. Walk us through those considerations and the state role in making sure that everything that the Boring Company wants to do is going to be safe while it's being constructed, and then obviously safe in the implementation.
And it's been part of the process over the last year. Do your due diligence, understand how they do this, look at what they've already done. They've just recently, Homeland Security, graded them as the safest transportation company in the country. They are creating tunnels at a rate faster than any tunnel creating company in this country. And they're doing so incredibly safely. They have moved 3 million people through their Las Vegas loop safely. This is a company, too, that, it's all electric, so there's no emissions. There's no above ground construction. So when people think about transit systems and moving people, oftentimes you talk about light rail or, some kind of an above ground transit system that's going to cause disruption and road closures and construction. That isn't going to happen here. They're going to do this all underground, and then the system's going to be built, and Tennesseans are going to get to use it. And importantly, for the people that live in this city, thousands and thousands of people that go from the airport to the city center are not going to be on our roads. So it's going to reduce congestion. It's going to reduce wear and tear on our highways. It is a huge win for our city and for our state. And, the Boring Company could have gone anywhere, but they chose to come here, and we're excited about that.
It just feels like it was the perfect opportunity for them and the perfect city for them to expand their brand and to give a little proof of performance to the rest of the country and the rest of the world that the system that they've created works, it's efficient, and it works for cities like ours. I mean, obviously, we're known as a tourism destination, and this can only help nationally and internationally Nashville and by extension the entire state.
Yeah, and what they did in Vegas is first they do the sort of tourist loop, but then they begin to expand, and they have stations all over the city, and it's going to be an opportunity for Nashvillians to move from one place in the city to another at a cost that's less than traditional movement, to less than catching a taxi or riding an Uber, and it's going to be faster. And again, it's going to alleviate congestion on our roads. So it's a cutting edge company that, we may be the second city that they put something in, but we're not going to be the last city. This is going to be something that starts happening all over the country.
So if I that if I ask you anything, I mean, you're seasoned enough, you'll say, Matt, I can't tell you about that. I can't talk about that right now. But it's my understanding that the idea is, in working with the state, that the state gives them authorization, gives the Boring Company the authorization to utilize state-owned property for the underground construction of the tunnels. And so we expect that the utilization will be more on state roadways or state thoroughfares that the state already owns.
At least initially, that's right. I mean, and obviously what the Boring Company wants to do is as the CEO said yesterday, we only want to do something that's useful. And so we know this is going to be useful, and it'll be on state property from one location to the other. And then if it's determined to be useful by the people of this city, then they'll look to expand that in state property initially, or maybe even finally. But their plan, and they've already begun, they're having a job fair, they're going to engage, they're meeting with people. What's interesting is the same people that own this company own a company that has invested billions of dollars in Memphis, XAI. And initially there was sort of this, do we want this here? There was, political talk of something that's really pretty non-political, just like this one is. There's not much political about this. You can make it political if you want to, but there's a reason why you had hundreds of business people, the chamber, the Visitors Bureau, the Convention Center, the Airport Authority, all of them there, leaders in this city, no one looking at each other and saying, are you a Democrat or you're a Republican? Like, these are people that are serious about what's good for our city. And XAI, which is a company owned by the same parent company, is, they're investing billions in Memphis, and they have engaged the city. They've engaged leaders. They are investing in the public school system. They are a good corporate citizen who understands that that's important for the success of that city and that investment, and they're going to do the same thing here.
Noticeably absent in the announcement were city leaders. And I know that Mayor Freddie O'Connell has issued a statement saying that, they have some questions and concerns. What are your hopes in terms of, I would think the state believes in this project. People that I talk to believe in it. I certainly am excited about it. I think most Nashvillians are. Is the hope that the city will jump on board as well? What is your message?
Well, let me say
leadership?
this. You said there weren't city leaders there. There were a lot of city leaders there. There were CEOs of major companies here. There were the head of the chamber, the head of the airport, the head of the convention center. There are city leaders there, people that are invested in.
I should say nobody from the mayor's office. I should say.
There were, and I can't speak for the mayor, but the mayor and I have had conversations about this for some time, and we continue to meet and talk about that. And as I said yesterday, those conversations have been very productive. Now, I'm not going to speak for him, and he has to, he has said that there are questions to be answered, and he and I talked about that. I said, we want the questions, and the Boring Company wants those questions. They'll answer those questions, and I think what will happen is people will see that this really is a great thing for our city. And there's not much to question about how effective and how efficient and how it could help in many ways and how it can help all of us. But people will have questions, and they'll get the questions answered. And as this unfolds, it's going to be something that I think most everybody that's serious about what's good for Nashville and Tennessee will be on board with it.
And what has, it seems to me, been hardest to wrap our heads around is that this is a type of transportation that is private in nature. And I think people mentally, when they think of transportation, they think, well, there has to be a level of government involvement. And there is, oversight and making sure that things are done safely like we talked about. But it's hard for them to envision new ways to do things at no cost to the taxpayer. And I would stress, that's one of the most difficult things that I've had to express to the listening audience, that, look, they're like, well, how much is this going to cost us? And, oh, well, you're writing a blank check to this billionaire guy. And I'm like, nobody's writing a check to anybody.
Yeah, there's not any checks. It is hard for people to believe that, except this is a forward-thinking company, and this is a forward-thinking idea. And this is, when I did my State of the State address in January, and I said, this is the year we ought to think bigger. And we ought to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. And this is kind of a moment where you say, oh, this is what it could be. It doesn't have to be government-funded transit systems that are above ground and cost billions of dollars, like the last transit proposal in Nashville, which was billions of dollars. And it doesn't have to be that. And is government in a partnership here? Absolutely. Government, when some private company builds a high-rise building in downtown Nashville, government's involved in that. Planning and permitting and oversight to make sure it's safe and all of the things that government has responsibility to do. That'll happen in this project too. But this is like none other from a transit system standpoint that we've seen. It is a private system, and people will pay to get on it and go and use it, but the taxpayers will not pay for this. Only the people that want to use it. And the ones that use it then will not be using the roads and the bridges and the highways.
So what are next steps functionally? It's my understanding that the state is ready to make an agreement to give sort of a terminus and a staging area downtown that the state currently owns. I believe it's a parking area right now. And what are some of those other particulars that we can expect moving forward?
This is a big construction project and a big infrastructure construction project that'll have a process and a plan. There'll be engagement with the public. There will be, decisions about where there are stations, if there are additional stations. Right now, the plan is to go from the airport to the city center in an 8-minute or 7 or 8 minute ride on an 8 or 9 mile loop, and that's number one. That's what's going to happen first, and we'll work our way through that and then make decisions going forward. So the next steps are to get started, but at the same time, there will be, there'll be engagement, there'll be hearings, there'll be process that any major construction infrastructure project would have. The big difference is that it isn't going to cost the taxpayers.
Well, and I would think the idea, and you tell me if I'm wrong, is that these private businesses downtown that think, wow, can I get a part of this? Can there be a stopping point along this route for me?
Right.
Well, certainly that's an opportunity that exists, right? It doesn't have to just be the state and Boring Company or the city and the Boring Company. It can be private entities in the Boring Company as well once you establish that initial line.
Yeah, and the thing about this is that company then will be able to engage with the public and make decisions about, as they said yesterday, what is needed, what is going to be helpful, what is wanted by the people, and then their decisions to do that and how that fits into their model. And frankly, their model is to build a multi-system, a multi-station system. They're not committing to do that. They're just committing to do this one route. But if if the public wants that, I suspect that's where it's going to go.
How is it insane to you? It seems insane to me to consider that a project of this size and scope, the message that I heard was that the boring company said, Governor, we feel confident that we can get you in a Tesla while you're still the governor of the state of Tennessee before January 2027 and get you on this line. That time frame seems almost impossible to imagine, but that's what they believe, that they can get it done in that time frame.
Well, they kind of know what they can do because they've done it before. They have technology in these drills and the way they work through. They understand fully about the rock. They understand fully, and these tunnels will, they won't be disruptive. They know how fast they can build them, so they know how quickly they can get this done. And it's cutting edge technology, and it's 90% cheaper. They say they can build their tunnels for about 10% of the cost of what a conventional tunnel construction transit system costs, and they know that. That's why their business model works, and that's why they can do it with private dollars and not require the states.
So, are you a claustrophobic guy, Governor? I mean, are you going to be in there in a Tesla once the?
I think it'd be absolutely awesome.
I do too.
Yeah, I think it'd be absolutely awesome. Get off an airplane and say, I need to be downtown in 8 minutes, and.
Well, and once again, for those, obviously it's going to be something that the tourists that come into our community, the folks that come to the conventions, they utilize. But the residual effect, I drive I-40 every day from Mount Juliet, and I see the traffic on I-40 every day. And once you get the construction done at the airport and you consider the thousands of vehicles that will be off the roadways, it's a net benefit. And then the possibility down the road of what can they do for 65 or 24, or are they interested in doing some additional things that would benefit the community?
Yeah, and when you think about the travel that happens in peak periods, when there's a major convention where we have tens of thousands of people coming in to a convention at a time, or you have an event where people are coming in from out of the country, around the country, to go to a concert in the new Titan Stadium, where you're going to have tens of thousands of people converging on downtown at one time, and many of them coming from the airport. It's also the alleviation of congestion is going to be at peak moments when tourists would be traveling the highway. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch.
Along with the choice lanes. This kind of solidifies infrastructure and transportation and moving people and helping the growth of not just Nashville Metro, but the state by extension. That's a major piece of your governorship.
All without raising taxes and all without going into debt. That's what the Transportation Modernization Act was. It allowed us to have a funding stream that came in for choice lanes in a public-private partnership. And so we're going to build these multi-billion-dollar highway projects that will allow for congestion alleviation. And we're not going to have to raise taxes to do it because we're going to have private investment in a partnership with the state. We're not going to go into debt to build these roads like so many states do. And now we're going to have a transit system that doesn't require raising taxes, and it doesn't require going into debt or even spending state dollars.
Does it each time we've met, and we've had the opportunity to speak in the past, you're such a positive. It's hard not to be positive in the room with you because you seem so positive, Governor. But there's a lot of naysayers out there, and most of it is politically driven. Does it frustrate you ever that, because it feels like some of the most vocal opponents to this ought to be right up front. They want to get, pollution, belching automobiles off our roads. They want to move toward a cleaner type of system. This feels it's not mass transit, but it feels like it's kind of more that than just singular cars on the roadways. It feels like some of your naysayers ought to be right there saying, let's go.
Yeah. I've been in this job now for 7 years, and people would say, well, critics say this or that. And, there's always critics, especially when you're talking about politics and politicians. There are always critics. I just don't see how they can be serious about this. They're gonna be critical because they're critical, and they got to come up with. They can't be supportive of something that someone in some other party. Yeah, like someone that's not in their party rolled it out and worked to get it done. And so, but I think people that are serious, that are leaders, that are elected officials, that are really genuinely looking at what is good for the people of this city and the people of this state, you're going to see them be supportive of this. Yeah, they're going to have questions, and they want to make sure that it is what it has been, proposed to be. But they're going to find out it is, and when they do, they're gonna be supportive, I think.
Now, I'm certain you've talked to Elon. When's he coming to the city? When's he? Is he gonna stop in and
I
monitor progress?
I certainly don't know what he's going to do, and I don't know of any plans for that. He didn't know. I guess that guy's got a lot of things going on. So I don't know what his plans are.
We got a lot of things going on in the state too, and this is a component that we're all very excited about. Before you go, and I know you're limited on time, but outside of the tunnel piece, the Music City Loop piece, how do you feel like the scholarship? It was a big deal for you.
Yeah.
I know that it was important. You had it in session, didn't get it done that first time around, got it back, got a special session to take care of it. How do you feel like it's going, and are you excited to watch some of the implementation this fall?
Yeah, that whole issue became important to me in my heart, really, as I worked in the inner city with at-risk youth some 20 years ago. And 17, 18 years ago, I got engaged in educational issues with those kids, and I started realizing then, hey, they just ought to have another option. And that's when it was born in my heart. And so when I came into office, we started on it the first year. I talked about that in my first day of the state, school choice. And so to get it done, because I care deeply about the kids in this state. And that is what drove my passion for this, and why I continued to work on it for year after year. And even when it didn't happen, I said, I'm going to keep trying as long as I'm here. So I'm very grateful for the members of the legislature that worked with us to help get that done. It's rolled out, when there were almost 40,000 applications in the first hour. Part of the test is, do Tennesseans really want this? Absolutely, they want it. 40,000 families. And we only had 20,000 scholarships. So, and the good news is, half of those are income limited. They're based on their income. Lower income families get those. They're evenly divided across K through 12. The rollout has been very effective and a massive thing to do in a very short period of time. But we're excited about the fact that there are 20,000 families that are going to have a choice this fall to educate their children how they want them to be educated, that parents will be able to choose for the first time in this state and have some options. So I'm very grateful. I'm very excited about the prospects going forward. I'm mostly excited for those kids.
I was going to ask you about, as we get toward the end of your governorship, but it occurs to me, a year and a half. There's still plenty of time.
It's a long time
to get things done. I mean, as you run strong through the tape, what's next on the horizon for you? What can you tell us will be, do you have priorities in mind when it comes to the last 18 months?
Yeah. There's a lot. I feel a bit of urgency. There is only a year and a half left. It's a long time, but it's enough time to get important things done. And I only have one shot at this to get these things done for Tennesseans. And so I'm going to work hard to the very end. But transportation, a big announcement yesterday. We'll continue to work on infrastructure and transportation issues going forward. We're going to continue to work. As you know, I've been pretty focused on energy and nuclear energy and the advancement of that, and working with companies that are investing in Tennessee. We've attracted multiple nuclear-based ecosystem companies up into the Oak Ridge area. Some massive investments like Orano from France that's going to enrich uranium here for safe, clean, effective energy in small modular reactors. We think we may be the first state in America to build a small modular reactor. We're working hard with the Department of Energy to see if that can happen. So I'm focused on energy. I'm focused on infrastructure. I'm focused on educational issues and workforce development. I mean, when a state like Tennessee is attracting companies like this, I just met with a Japanese company that's expanding or considering expansion and investment in our state. They want to know, do we have the workers? When you talk to CEOs of companies around the world, they want to know, do you have the power and do you have the workers? So those are two of the things that we're really going to be focused on in the next 18 months.
Governor, thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon. I mean, it's such a big week. We appreciate you stopping by and just giving us your perspective on everything that's been going on. And we can't wait to watch it happen. It's not going to be long. I mean, it's hard to believe that, you can get something like that. I mean, no disrespect to the guys building the stadium, right? But this thing is expected to be in operation before we see our first concert or game at the new stadium on the East Bank. So it's a very exciting time to be in the state of Tennessee.
It is. I'm so blessed and honored to be able to be in this spot to work with leaders all over the state to make sure Tennessee's leading the country.
Thank you, Governor.
Thanks, sir.
There's Governor Bill Lee. We've right at the top of the hour, 6 o'clock. I got us in there and got us out of there. Jackson, you take it away, and we'll be back in just a moment. Health insurance, sadly, for most companies, feels like some sort of mathematics exam, and I don't get it. I don't pretend to get it, and I don't have to get it because I know Shane Ring at Cover Nash. When you talk about confusing percentages and they cover this and that thing, and you get surprise bills and fine print that bites you in the rear end, let's make it simple. At Cover Nash, they've got a new nationwide PPO plan that lets you choose your doctors anywhere in the United States of America without the headaches, with only a $250 deductible. Now, this plan is going to be for most of you, not for all of you, but for most of you, the flat copays after the deductible are just $50 for office visits, outpatient surgery as low as $250 in copays, and hospital stays for as low as $1,000. If this intrigues you, or if you're confused about your current health coverage, understand that Shane Ring, he doesn't work for a specific insurance company. He shops the entire market. He works for you. And I believe in the way he does his business. He's right in Brentwood. You can stop by and see him for yourself, sit down with Shane and talk to him about Cover Nash, or give him a call today at 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or covernash.com. That's covernash.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Still under that extreme heat warning in Nashville, and the Nashville Weather Service says the heat index is 99, with the real temperature 95. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Florida Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna trying to force a vote on a bill that bans stock trading by members of Congress. The bill she wants to bring to a vote was introduced by 2nd District Congressman Tim Burchett, who tells WTN's Matt Murphy Show.
This is the type of thing will get me primaried, though, but I'm just so fed up with it.
Potential civil penalties carry fines of up to $100,000 for each violation. Luna's effort would need 218 signatures to force a vote. Right now in Nashville, a Canadian man, Ryan McCann, has been sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison for assaulting a Jewish man in July of 2024. McCann is a self-proclaimed white supremacist and anti-Semitic neo-Nazi. He was marching with the group Goyim Defense League through the city, carrying Nazi flags and shouting white supremacist rhetoric when police say the attack occurred. During the confrontation, McCann was seen kicking the victim multiple times. A jury today convicted a Colorado dentist of first-degree murder in the poisoning death of his wife. Prosecutors said James Craig repeatedly laced his wife's smoothies with poison while she was hospitalized in Denver. When those attempts failed, he gave his wife Angela a final dose of cyanide. James Craig did not testify during the trial. The defense suggested Angela Craig may have taken her own life.
The claim being he wanted to get rid of her for this orthodontist who he was having a relationship with. His side even admitted that in their 23 years of marriage, he and Angela Craig, that he had been unfaithful numerous times, multiple times a year, and that this wasn't anything different. They claimed this woman was just like all the other women, and he didn't kill his wife for the other women, so he wouldn't have done it for this woman, where the prosecution said he did kill for her. That's why he committed murder.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, let's tell you about the problems on I-24 first. We got a vehicle fire, right lane block, 24 eastbound near Murfreesboro Pike. In Antioch, a crash on the left shoulder, 24 westbound after Hickory Hollow Parkway. How about I-40? Stalled vehicle, right shoulder block, 40 eastbound at Spence Lane. And then at Metro Center, TDOT says there's a crash 65 northbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Happy to have you with us. 11 minutes after 6 o'clock. My apologies to everyone involved. Everybody involved in this show. From those of you listening, for those of you watching, for Ken Weaver, for Jackson, because everything's kind of been higgledy-biggledy up in the air, what with the governor stopping by. I wanted to give maximum time to Governor Bill Lee in our studios, discussing primarily, obviously, the new transit tunnel that was announced this week from B&A Airport downtown Nashville, but also talking a little about transit, generally speaking, the choice lanes and his scholarship proposal that went through this past year. Obviously, that has us off just a little bit, so I beg your indulgence, and I thank you for it. As we make our way towards 7 o'clock. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. Hey, Jackson, I hate to produce on the radio, but I'll do so. Find out from Weaver, I mean, are we good with nincompoops? Are we no good? I mean, I know Weaver's busy back there. He's got a lot of things going on.
Yes, sir.
You want to do nincompoops in the news?
I'll do nincompoops. I'm going to win it.
Well,
what do you boys think about that?
Well, with that in mind, you know what? We should have done nincompoops with Governor Bill Lee here. I bet Governor Bill Lee seems too nice of a guy to point fingers and name names and call people nincompoops, but I bet there's plenty of nincompoops in his world. Let's do it. Nincompoops in the news time. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That's right. It's time. You know what the news is. You've heard from folks like Congressman Tim Burchett and Governor Bill Lee. Now it's time to find those nincompoops. And I can think of no better three to locate them than these three. It's Ken Weaver, it's Jackson Williams, it's Matt Murphy. We each bring a story to the table, and then you tell us who the big nincompoop is. Hey, guess who the big winner was yesterday, Jackson?
Ken Weaver.
Ken Weaver is correct, Jackson.
Yes, sir.
He was the big winner, and that means that Ken Weaver gets to go first.
That means I get to go, and you guys can't steal my story. Because that's what I'm worried about every day now.
Yeah, me too. Because I think we're hunting in the same field. Yeah. I think we're fishing in the same pond, and I worry about it too, kid. I do. All right, go.
All right, this happened last week, boys, in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. A New Smyrna Beach man who told deputies he had drunk just one beer an hour before was arrested after allegedly drifting in the water naked, right in the front of kids. 3 p.m. Sunday, 69-year-old Rufus Qualls was seen by a witness allegedly drifting in the waters at New Smyrna Beach on a blue bodyboard without pants on. The witness told authorities Qualls allegedly got closer to numerous beachgoers, including their 6-year-old grandchild and a young teenage girl. When deputies arrived on the scene, they called Qualls to come to shore, but he just continued to lay in the surf. Deputies had to go into the water and physically remove Qualls, covering his nudity, as he was taken into custody. Qualls, who appeared drunk to the witness, said he had just one beer an hour before the incident and took medication earlier in the morning. Qualls said he arrived at the beach with his acquaintance named Cowboy. Claimed a wave took his pants off after he entered the water with Cowboy. Well, Qualls was arrested, accused of indecent exposure and resisting an officer without violence, and Cowboy rode off into the sunset.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
That wave, man. Those rogue waves, Ken, they'll get you.
Officer, the waves took my pants.
That's right. See, a big old wave hit me and off went my britches.
I mean, just forced my left hand down there to unbuckle them, and the pants went right off. I think Cowboy's got them.
Cowboy is a human?
Yeah, apparently so.
Not a dog or something? It's an actual person.
Well, police say he was an acquaintance of Rufus Qualls.
Rufus. You don't get many good Rufuses nowadays.
No.
Back in the day, there were a lot of Rufi. A lot of Rufi going around.
Back in my day.
Not so many Rufi anymore. You want to go next there, young Williams?
I'm down.
All right.
Drug-possessing naked man arrested at Mississippi Fossil Park. A drug-possessing naked man was arrested at a fossil park in Mississippi, according to the Prentiss County Sheriff's Department. Deputies received a call on July 25th about a naked man at W.M. Browning Cretaceous Fossil Park in Frankstown, Mississippi. Upon arriving, they found the man in question to be Donald Hatfield, 57, of Boonville. Hatfield was clothed and charged with indecent exposure. The Sheriff's Department also noted that potentially illicit drugs were found in Hatfield's vehicle, which could lead to more charges once results are returned from the crime lab. Sheriff Tolar and Deputy Knight found a felony amount of hydrocodone in the vehicle and a small amount of methamphetamines. His bond is set at $5,000.
Just a small amount of methamphetamine.
Yeah, just a pinch of meth.
A lot of cotton, but just a just a teeny tiny bit of meth. You know, a little meth didn't hurt anybody. What's a little meth amongst friends?
Medicated moment with Donald Hatfield.
There you go. All right, item nincompoop number 3 comes to us from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
I love the Oklahoma nincompoops. I don't know why.
Well, they're a lot like Florida's.
Maybe so. On Tuesday, 2 days after 2 state school board members claimed that they saw nude images of women playing on a television in the state superintendent's office, that would be the office of Ryan Walters. 2 days later, Walters denies any wrongdoing and claimed that investigators had cleared him in the case, falsely. He also accused Governor Stitt, and now the article that I'm referencing assumes that Governor Kevin Stitt, there you go. Governor Kevin Stitt, he accused him of orchestrating the entire thing as a, quote, character assassination, but refused to answer reporters' questions, seeking clarity and evidence to back up his claims. Here's the bottom line. Walters made the comments during a press conference just outside of Governor Kevin Stitt's office Tuesday afternoon, where he accused the governor and his appointed board members of political sabotage.
Sabotaging.
These board members decided to construct a lie to destroy my character, Walters said. Lies will have consequences. Walters called the press conference after Oklahoma State School Board members Ryan Detheridge and Becky Carson told the Oklahoman last week that they saw nude images of women playing on a television inside of Walters' office during a board meeting this past Thursday. They said they immediately confronted Walters, who looked at the screen, scrambled for a remote, and turned the television off without acknowledging what had appeared on it. Governor Stitt appointed both Detheridge and Carson to the board earlier this year amid a falling out with Walters. On Friday, the Oklahoma Office of Management and Enterprise Services opened an investigation. That would be the OMES. News 4 reported that the OMES asked an Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office to begin a criminal investigation. They said that it was too early to jump to conclusions. We're aware of what has been said to the media, but obviously we have to do our due diligence to speak with those witnesses that are involved. 24 hours later, Walters claimed that investigators had already cleared him. We've had our name cleared by both the OMES and the Sheriff's Office, said Walters. Nothing scandalous that I was a part of whatsoever. However, less than 24 hours after he made that claim, both offices, the Sheriff's Office and the OMES, said, no, he's not cleared. That's simply not the case. The investigation is still ongoing. What I'm saddest about on this Nincompoop Stories, men, is that they don't really tell us what those 2 women were doing up on the TV.
Cooking.
Playing volleyball, weren't they?
Jumping on trampolines? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know
thought
what
you said they were playing volleyball.
I don't know what they were doing, but apparently they were doing it with no clothes on. So I'm proud to note that Murphy's Nincompoop story has nudity involved in it as well, but not nudity of the nincompoop. The nincompoop in this story would be none other than Superintendent Walters himself, who had naked folk on his TV, turned it off, and then said, nope, there weren't no naked folk on there. This is a political hatchet job.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. Now get.
Get. Go on. There you go. Vote Ken, vote Jackson, or vote correctly. It's the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has 2 locations to serve you, gentlemen. One is in Midtown. They've been there since 2014, and they've been doing a great job in that facility for that length of time. The other just opened a couple of years ago because they've been growing by leaps and bounds because men have learned, by the thousands men have learned, that you don't have to live with a diminishment in romantic relationships with your significant other. If you have found yourself desiring to have that romance in your life, but being unable in some form or fashion, men, you don't have to live that way. I encourage you to get back in the game with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. They're going to figure out what's going on with you. You'll come in for an appointment, right? And they're qualified urologists, professional and discreet, will go over you. They'll talk with you. They'll take a little blood, and you'll get results the same day. They'll find out what your testosterone is doing, what the causal factors might be, and they will outline a plan of action that is a plan of success. That's what it's all about. Go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com to find out more or make the call that so many men have made before you at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. 615-208-9090, 208-9090. Okay, there's one. I always look for a Jackson vote because I feel bad for you when you don't get any, friend. But I found one.
Got none?
You got one. Who was it? Chris has written, and it says Jackson. Murphy, Ken, Matt, Ken. There's several suggestions as to what the two ladies were doing on the TV.
How many of them are arable?
Is eating tacos arable?
Oh, God, Murphy.
What? I don't know what that means. And no, I'm not saying that one.
Let's just not say things we don't know the meaning of in regards to the naked women, please.
I'm gonna whisper it in your ear, and you tell me if I can say it or not.
No, you can't say that.
I can't say that?
Actually, I mean, technically the words aren't.
I can say each word, but it's probably not a good idea.
Just don't look it up on YouTube.
It's probably not. No, do not. Do not.
Not on the work computer.
On any computer, you're not to look that up. On any computer.
Unless you're the superintendent of Oklahoma.
Apparently, he's just fine. So it looks like it's between, look, 2805 says score 1 for Jackson. That's good. Matt's second place. Florida guy was a hapless tsunami victim. Yes, Mandis, they're real. Fossil guy was just hoping to be a fossil someone was hunting for. Ergo, Matt's superintendent is, in fact, the Ninkham. I like the way this fellow's thinking. I do. Hey, you want to guess Today in History? I got 2 things for you on Today in History. And one, I'm going to ask for audience participation, okay? And I'm going to do it after the break, after the bottom of the hour newscast with Ken Weaver. There are 2 important things, in my opinion. I'm sure there's more than 2, but 2 that caught my notice. We don't do Today in History very often, but one is associated with one of the greatest films ever laid down, and the other involves one of the greatest mysteries never solved in American history. But for now, by popular demand, there have actually been several people that wanted to know what this next caller thought about the governor's appearance on the Matt Murphy Show. Believe it or not, Mike, people want to know what you thought about my interview with Governor Bill Lee. That's how famous you're becoming on the Matt Murphy Show, Mike.
Well, I appreciate that. Why don't you go to the next table, bend over, and get greased? In other words, this whole thing is a massive scam. And then I pulled up on the T-Dot and said that what we're going to have to do, because you said, not me, you said, we're going to get all these people off of I-40. Where are they going to go? I asked you that. So I pulled up T-Dot. They're showing them a massive reconstruction of Donaldson Pike and I-40 that will take years and years to divert all that traffic to the airport so they can get on the tunnel to go downtown. And so what I'm saying is, Matt, that
none of those cars
just being taken advantage of.
Gosh, Mike.
You brought the governor on. You didn't let anybody ask the governor a question. You've been greased.
What question would you have asked the governor had you had the ability, Mike? Go.
Who's paying for this? Who's paying for the outlying costs?
What outlying costs? What outlying costs?
The new TDAP program.
What are you talking about?
It says that Donaldson Pike, and the airport, that's where they're connected from I-40. Who's paying for that new complete reconstruction?
Mike, I have that interchange is already open.
It's going to have to be reconstructed.
No. That interchange that you're talking about
is going to be reconstructed to handle the thousands of vehicles.
I wish you would listen.
You say is going to come off I-40.
No.
The governor says.
Mike, gosh.
The governor says that all those vehicles are going to come off I-40 and go into the interchange at Donaldson Pike and I-40 to the airport so they can get on this new tunnel.
No, Mike, listen. Mike,
downtown.
Stop for a second. Listen, I'm just trying to help you, buddy. And it's a fool's errand, and I'm just probably going to stop taking your calls because you will not listen and process information with the brain that God gave you. But I'm going to try one more time.
But
Mike, hold on. Let me say that
the governor come on and grease you.
Mike, let me say this to you, Mike, because you are either not listening or too dumb enough to understand this. Ready?
Now I'm done.
No private Mike, listen. No private vehicles are going to go on this tunnel. None. Zero.
Well, where the private vehicles go? TDOT says on their own website, we're going to have to change the Donaldson airport site, the Donaldson I-40. We're going to have to transfer those vehicles. Well, who's paying for that?
The Donaldson Pike Interchange project has nothing to do with the boring tunnel.
Exactly. So
Okay,
if
all right, I'm done. I'm just done. I mean, I try to take everybody. I try to do it. I don't try to overtalk people. But Mike kept saying there that where are all these private cars going to go when they get off the tunnel, and when they get on the tunnel, how are they going to do all of that? There's no private vehicles going on this tunnel. You will not be able to drive your vehicle on the tunnel. The tunnel will operate Tesla vehicles that will act like a cab or an Uber, and you'll pay a flat rate to go from B&A Airport. These will primarily take tourists or convention goers, people coming into the city that need to get downtown, people that fly into B&A Airport by the hundreds, by the thousands every day, take cabs and Ubers and what's the other one? Lyft, and any other rideshare service. They take those vehicles from the airport and they get on the interstate and they go downtown. The idea is that by the thousands, these people will take the tunnel as opposed to getting on the interstates, and by extension, they will alleviate traffic on the interstate. Mike, I love you, buddy. We're going to need to take a break for a few days and maybe reset next week. God love you. I hope you understand why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. It's 33 after the hour. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and let's talk a moment about how you're sleeping at night. If you don't sleep through the night, if you find yourself waking up, if your significant other complains of your snoring, might I recommend the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center? Dr. Brian McLaughlin has taken over where Dr. Stephen Poss has retired, and, man, he's been doing it for a while now. He's been with the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center for well over a year, and he's just a great guy to go to talk about sleep apnea and the causes of sleep apnea, the consequences of sleep apnea from a health perspective and from a relationship perspective, and how to repair them. An FDA-approved oral device that fits in your mouth, that holds the airway open. It's specifically designed for your mouth and your mouth only. I know because I have one, and it helps me sleep better at night, and it can help you sleep better at night. TennesseeSleep.com. Did I mention that they're in-network for most insurance acceptable in the state of Tennessee, which is a great thing? 2 locations, Brentwood and Murfreesboro. Call today. Find out how they can assist you. TennesseeSleep.com. That's TennesseeSleep.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being around. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for watching the show, if that's what you're doing on the Super Talk television side of things, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Lively debate always on the YouTube chat. I'm getting called a bootlicker, Jackson. That's okay. I mean, I understand there are some that do not like Bill Lee, and I understand that some of that predates me. Some suggested that he was a failure during the COVID-19 deal, and I mean, I fully understand that. And frankly, you know, this is the United States of America, and we're all entitled to our own opinions. So for those of you that don't care for Governor Lee, you probably listened to the interview and didn't like the way that I was conducting it because I was nice to him. That's fine. That's fair. That's perfectly fair. And I accept that. But I challenge you to tell me what's wrong with this project in as much as it does not cost the state of Tennessee any money. And, you know, you can say, well, it's not going to work. Okay, that's fine. But if it does work, man, it'll be pretty cool. But anyway, if you're listening or watching on Super Talk TV, thank you for doing so. Perhaps you are listening on 99.7 FM. Perhaps you're over on the Super Text line, or you're dialing us up on the phone lines. We appreciate you. A lot of reaction to our good friend Mike. We're taking a Mike break. I know you love Mike, Jackson.
He just gets your goat. I love it.
He wears me out.
It's so funny.
You see me in here, and I'm pulling my hair out, and thankfully I got enough hair to pull out, but I just...
Next time he calls in, I might put myself on camera so people can see my live reaction to him getting you.
You love it.
Oh, I'm back here cackling.
You adore it. Now, the big question on the lips of those on the super text line, is Mike real? Is Mike fake? Is Mike real? Is Mike funny? I think Mike's real as the day is long. I mean,
he's a real human being.
I mean, we don't set him up to tell him what to say. He says what he wants.
No, he calls me every day and has something to say to Matt.
Yeah, and sometimes it makes a modicum of sense. More often than not, it does not. And there it is. So, official, Jackson, because you and I compromised during the break. I said I can't deal with him. He can't come back till Monday.
No Mike tomorrow.
I said no Mike until next week. Jackson said, "Come on, Murphy, you can't advertise a First Amendment Freestyle Friday and then go against the spirit of the thing." I said, "Okay, fine, Friday."
Friday, the return of Mike.
No Mike tomorrow. Mike's revenge on Friday. All right. Mike is
Mike, I fought for you, buddy.
I'm sure Mike appreciates that. Matt Murphy, whatever happened to Mr. Jimmy? We heard from Mr. Jimmy the other day. Mr. Jimmy is a great listener to the show. Older gentleman that lives down in Shelbyville, and he's still down there. He called us the other day. Seems to be doing all right. For a fellow his age, has some the best stories about Memphis, Tennessee, and growing up in Memphis. Going out and hanging out with Elvis Presley. I mean, he's got legit stories about hanging out with Elvis Presley. This guy.
How old is Mr. Jimmy?
Mr. Jimmy, I think he told me he was 86.
Oh,
maybe 87. He's up there. So thank you for those asking about Mr. Jimmy. Today is the anniversary of a pretty special event. Well, I say special, a pretty tragic event in American history that most of you would not know about were it not for one of my favorite feature films. That's right. On this day in 1945, 80 years ago, this happened.
Japanese submarine slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. He was coming back from the island of Tinian to Leyte, just delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb. 1,100 men went into the water. Vessel went down in 12 minutes.
Oh, I could play the whole thing and probably would if I were a mind to, but that is the great Robert Shaw and the fabulous feature film Jaws. That USS Indianapolis speech really, I don't know that I fashioned myself a student of history. I don't know that I would know anything about the USS Indianapolis were it not for that moment in Jaws. Have you seen the fabulous feature film Jaws there?
I have seen Jaws. Good movie.
Oh, man, that's a compliment coming from you. I mean, it's more of an old. I mean, it's a classic thriller.
We watched it in high school, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's some cursing in Jaws.
Yeah.
Get away with it.
Had to cover my little ears.
On July 30th, 1945, that would be 80 years ago, the USS Indianapolis was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. What you have heard in the movie is largely correct. Robert Shaw, now I'll give you a blend of historical fact and what happened in the movie. There were many different versions of that speech, and the last version that they gave Shaw was way longer than that. It was like 3 or 4 minutes longer. And he said, "Can I get this more manageable?" And they said, "Sure, you can rewrite it." Steven Spielberg and the writers. And so he did. Robert Shaw was a drinking man, drank a lot. And he came onto set thinking this was a moment in the movie where Quint, the character, would have been drinking anyway. And he came onto the set and he was pretty loose.
A little toasty.
He was toasted. So much so that he could not get through the speech. It embarrassed him. And when he woke up the next day, he went to Spielberg, young Spielberg, and his fellow co-stars, more Scheider than Dreyfuss, because Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw did not get along at all. And he begged their forgiveness and told Spielberg that it wouldn't happen again. And then he commenced to nailing the speech. And I think there were 3 cuts in the speech, and he nailed the speech, each part in one cut. The speech is largely accurate in that Of the 1,196 men on board the USS Indianapolis, only 316 of those men survived. The Indianapolis had completed its mission, delivery of the components of the atomic bomb that would be dropped a week later on Hiroshima. The Indianapolis made its delivery on July 26th, 1945. The mission was top secret. The crew of the Indianapolis did not know what they were carrying on board. After leaving the island, the Indianapolis set sail to the U.S. military Pacific headquarters in Guam, given orders to meet the battleship USS Idaho, to prepare for the invasion of Japan. The belief is that the American forces would have to descend on Japan after the dropping of the Hiroshima bomb and actually go into go on the mainland of Japan. Shortly after midnight, however, on July 30th, halfway between Guam and the Gulf of Leyte, a Japanese submarine blasted the Indianapolis, sparked an explosion, split the ship in half. It sank in less than 10 minutes. With about 300 men trapped inside, another 900 or so went into the water. Many died from drowning, and those that did not died from shark attack, injuries from the explosion, and dehydration. Help, as Quint said, did not arrive for days because their mission was so secret that no distress signal was sent. It was 4 days later, on August 2nd, when an anti-submarine plane on routine patrol happened to see the men in the water and radioed for assistance. Of course, on August 6th, the United States dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, inflicting nearly 130,000 casualties and destroying more than 60% of the city. And then on August 9th, the second atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. Casualties estimated at about 66,000. The U.S. government kept quiet about the Indianapolis tragedy until August 15th in order to guarantee that the news would be overshadowed by President Harry Truman's announcement that Japan had in fact surrendered, which they had done days earlier. And as Quint would say, anyway, July 30th, 1945, we delivered the bomb. Do you know the name Jimmy Hoffa?
Yes. Sounds familiar.
Probably one of the greatest mysteries in American history is, and I think we are safe to assume we know what happened to Jimmy Hoffa, but for those who do not know, it was 50 years ago, 80 years ago today, the Indianapolis happened. 50 years ago today, Jimmy Hoffa was a Teamsters president. He was an incredibly influential union boss. He was tied up with the mafia all across the United States of America. You kind of had to be if you were going to be a union boss at that time. And 50 years ago today in Michigan, Jimmy Hoffa left a restaurant. I forget what the name of the restaurant was. Marcus's, I think. He left a restaurant and was waiting on a ride to meet a couple of union folks. And he got a ride of a different sort. He disappeared outside of that restaurant and was never to be seen again. An incredibly influential man that just went missing without a trace 50 years ago today. It's been reported that Jimmy Hoffa was picked up by two mob members. There were several folks involved in the Teamsters that did not want Jimmy Hoffa to be president again, and he was running for president of the Teamsters. Those folks hooked up with Detroit mobsters and decided that they were going to take Hoffa out, and so they did. And they apparently killed him at a private residence and then dispatched of his body in a junkyard facility in such a way where he would never be found again.
Did they find him?
No, Jimmy Hoffa was never found, and no known whereabouts of his body, and nothing definitive has ever come out about exactly what happened to him that day. And for him to be as prominent a figure as he was, that is quite the mystery that happened 50 years ago today. Final timeout. We'll be back in a moment and wrap things up on The Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest is simply the best when it comes to pest protection in your home. And I tell you all the time that J.K. and Erica Brister, they can't stand bugs. It's true. I mean, I'm not even kidding. They hate bugs and nasties and spiders and creepy crawlies like ants and stink bugs and silverfish and roaches and fleas and ticks that are out this time of year. Can't stand them. And so they want to assist you in getting rid of them in your home and on your property. And they do it through comprehensive pest control, full-service pest control that is 100% money-back guaranteed, termite protection, as well as crawl-space service available for you and your family. They love the United States of America at U.S. Pest, and they hate bugs. Call them or go by their website today, uspesta.com. That's uspest.com, or the number 590-1260. 590-1260. Tell J.K., Erica, and the rest of the team that Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only U.S. Pest. Hello, folks. It's Matt Murphy. At Genesis Diamonds, diamonds is not just in their name. Diamonds is in their DNA. They dream about diamonds. They obsess about diamonds. They love diamonds. Diamonds are their life. They go to the ends of the earth to find the best, and they bring them back here to Nashville, Tennessee, to Green Hills and Cool Springs. Friends, to properly showcase their exquisite selection of diamonds, they have beautiful showrooms available for you, and they have beautiful designer settings that other stores simply can't get. All the big-name bridal designers have picked Genesis as their trusted partner. Genesis is your source for hand-picked GIA-certified diamonds at the guaranteed best price. Here's how they do it. It's as simple as this. It's not fancy. They don't have middleman. They don't have a middleman. They go and they pick out the diamonds themselves, and so without that middleman, you bury the middleman markup. When you do that, you can sell diamonds for less, the same quality, better quality than the other guys have for less money. Green Hills and Cool Springs, when you walk in, the showroom's a little overwhelming, but they'll feed you baby birds. They'll take you by the hand. Let them know that Matt Murphy sent you to the wonderful, the beautiful, the place with no compromises. It's the one and only Genesis Diamonds. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A few more moments before we'll say goodbye. Ronnie's on the line, wants to talk about the USS Indianapolis. Hello, Ronnie.
Hey, Matt, I just want to tell you, last time you talked about this discussion, time run out and I wasn't able to tell you, but there's a book on Amazon by a guy named Edgar Harrell. It's about 11 and a half, 12 bucks. The guy lived down around Dover and Barkley Lake, Tennessee, in West Tennessee. He was on the Indianapolis.
Oh,
wow. And he lived it, and he could tell you the whole story about it, but he just recently died.
Oh, wow.
And it was his son or his son-in-law, but that young man took the words of Edgar and put them in a book. And Edgar went around churches and gave sermons about the whole story and everything. And it's not a very long book. I bet it ain't probably not even a half-inch thick.
What's it called?
But,
do you remember?
Out of the Depth.
Oh,
And I mean, there's many books on the internet about that story, but I was always intrigued and fascinated with war stories and growing up. And I've read this about 3 times, and I'll probably read it again now that you're talking about it again. But he will give you minute by minute in his words exactly what happened. And it's a kind of, books are always better than movies, because if it's a good book, you don't want to set it down. Well, that's the way this book is. And it will give you minute by minute detail what happened on that fateful night.
Well, Edgar Harrell. Or
Edgar Harrell, yes, sir.
Yeah, I've already ordered it. As you were talking, Ronnie, I ordered it through Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, it's like $11. It's I don't know. It might be 160, 200 pages, something like that. But it don't take no time to read it. If you're a fast reader, you can read it in a couple of days and just cry, because of the way the man put the words in writing.
Yeah,
it's really a fascinating story. I come about it back in 1970. What was it, 4? I think the Jaws came out. That's when I came about the story, and I was just always fascinated with it. So later on, I read bits and pieces, but then what's his name just died on y'all's radio show. What's his name? Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil Valentine.
He was talking about this guy. And had an interview with him, if I remember correctly, on radio. And that's when I said, hey, I've got to get that book and read it. So if you just got a few minutes of your time and you really want to read something that'll touch your heart,
I got it.
I encourage you to buy that book.
I just did. Thank you, Ronnie. As Ronnie was talking, I looked it up on Amazon, and I've got that account ready to go, and it says it'll be here tomorrow, which is pretty fascinating in and of itself. Looking forward to that. Yeah, it is a heartbreaking story. How many of those soldiers, or seamen, I should say, died. Thank you for being with us today. I appreciate every single one of you, even if y'all think I'm a bootlicker. I appreciate you. We're back tomorrow for a Thursday edition. Until next time, Mark Levin's up next. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.